Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
We are back for another edition of TWG Fan Club, a wrestling fan club with my crew. We get together every Wednesday live on Those Wrestling Girls Twitch. Shout out to Krista B. Hopefully she can pop in. And we
Pull up,
talk
sis.
the latest wrestling news. We talk about big controversial subjects. We recap pay-per-views. We preview pay-per-views. We do a little bit of everything on TWG Fan Club, and it's always a pleasure to be joined by my lovely crew. We are missing one, and I cannot wait to roast him for being late, Mr. Brian H. Waters.
You good.
But I love
One of
my
these days, you're just gonna have to let go of this like hatred of him showing up late, and you're just gonna
No,
just
keep it.
stay
I
on
love
the
it.
neck.
We love
Like,
accountability this time of year.
I'm just saying, we keep track of these things, and one of those things is that Brian H. Waters was late. But the rest of the crew was on time. Hello, guys.
Some earlier than others.
You were early, Seindole. I was very, very proud. Very proud friend. Hashtag proud friend.
Bonus points for you, friend.
Brr, brr, brr.
Bonus points. So I love the crew.
We love you too.
They are with me every week. Hey, Rakarsha.
Rakarsha already in the building. Oh, she's first too.
Rakarsha is what we call a day
Hello
one
to the chat. Hello to the chat.
sister of the podcast. We love you, girl. So before we get into it, because we have a busy show, we got Royal Rumble previews, we got Raw 30 recap, we got hashtag WWE Women Deserve Better things to talk. We got a lot on the agenda today. But before we get into that, I do want to remind people that we have new episodes out every other Monday on YouTube, everywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, Spotify, Apple, all of that. We just dropped the first part of our Charlotte Flair Spotlight series.
Woo!
I am so excited about that. We have been wanting to cover Charlotte for a long time. She's obviously someone that you have to cover if you want to call yourself a women's wrestling podcast. And it's the perfect time because she's reinvented herself. She's a baby face now. It's very confusing.
Damn.
What is that? What is that?
That face hurt.
People's Queen, that's not the Charlotte Flair I'm used to. So it was a good time for us to go back and kind of look through her career, starting from NXT, why she got into wrestling. So it's really interesting. If you haven't checked that out, please do. We are still not at 10K Twitter followers, which is very confusing to us. So right now, Krista B's been doing the live count on our show. We are at 9,975.
What?
25 people to follow us to reach 10K.
25 people? That's it?
No, right.
Maybe we gotta bribe some people.
It's like, what is going on? Like, we want to
At least
add.
y'all didn't lose followers. Like, I just lost 30 out of nowhere. I was like, wait, what the hell just happened?
It's because Twitter is now a mind fuck and people don't know what to do with themselves. So
yeah.
They're leaving. That's what I am convinced of.
Where are they going? Tout?
Wait, there's another one too. I heard MySpace trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, MySpace is trying to make a comeback. That I heard.
Is Tom involved?
No Tom.
Nope, then I ain't coming back. I need Tom and his white tee.
And only friend to be Tom if I return to MySpace.
Bingo. I need the white tee with like the 240p picture. Like I need it all. Otherwise, nope, not my MySpace.
Nah, I had Tom, Tila Tequila, and Jeffree Star.
Like a legend.
Yeah, she was like Tila Tequila actually followed me, and I'm like, I'm a high school girl. Like,
that is a lot already about her because she's very problematic.
Yeah, she's got stories.
She is. Her and Jeffree Star. Although Jeffree Star has come a long way since MySpace, but that's a whole other story.
I don't know MySpace. Oh,
and Maya Reese. That's another one I found on MySpace. I was just like, God damn.
Like he was signed by freaking
throwback.
If you know, you know.
Exactly.
Follow us on Twitter. Like, come on. Like let us help us reach that milestone. Join our party. We have new merch coming out soon, so make sure you follow For Your Wear, FORURWEAR.com. Shout out to the homie Blue. I do want to shout out the Jobber Tears podcast and Battle Club Pro, who put on a tremendous show this past weekend.
Yes.
It
I'm
was
so jealous I wasn't there.
amazing. It was like, Seindole, you were
I
there.
heard great things about it.
It was
yeah, I there.
amazing.
Boom.
It was amazing.
The card was awesome. We got to see our friends literally live their dreams. Like, I don't think.
Yeah. Shout out to Wilkins because I'm so proud of him. Like, first match, last match, you know, if he's doing a Ric Flair, I don't care. Like, I was very, 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 very proud of him. Like, for him to get out there and do it, and then, like, not even that, but, like, the way it was built, even the storyline, the build-up, it was just great to see him live his dream the way that he's always talked about it on Jobbers here. So, shout out to him. I'm super proud of him.
Super proud of you.
Salute. You did the damn thing.
Well. Yeah, and you were there in spirit, Justin, of course.
Of course,
because Krista B was in Maryland. It's funny how that happened.
Oh, we met up Saturday night.
Shout out to Bank. We love you.
So while y'all were handling Battle Club Pro and that stuff, we were in DC chilling with the fam, you know, Krista, Brian, Britt, shout out to Britt. That ended up being a good time.
Yeah, shout out to Britt Waters. And Black Wrestling came up, so we did like a little swap, little friend swap.
Yeah, shout out to them for coming up because they're always a good time when they up here. Like, even I had to circle the room because there was a lot of people, and I was like, oh, this person was there. I didn't know this person was there, and then you don't see people there until you start walking outside the room. And Fat Math are there, and, you know, Heart, shout out to her, and Backstage Brawl, you know, shout out to both of them. I think it's just like a good ass vibe. Like, it was like the first time I ever went to Jobbers Am. That's how it felt. So for me, that, like, and people tell you, like, the only great addition I can think of is like the wrestling club. Because they were just like on one, like they were doing better than us.
I think this is the most that he brought of the kids. So they rolled
38 kids.
That's the biggest they've rolled.
38 of them. They had their own section.
They had their own section. Shout out to the chaperones from Kid Brooklyn, all rocking the merch because it was not easy. And I just, Mr. Perry, everything that you do for these kids, the experiences that you give them, and also we get to experience things in such a new way, and the wrestlers as well, having the kids there. So it's definitely all love going all around when it comes to these things, and having them a part of the Welcome to New York show was amazing. Shout out to Kim and all the sponsors and everyone that made that night happen. Shout out to Legends, and they doing the weigh-in and the press conference. It was all just a very, very well put together. Shout out to Mr. Black. It was a very well put together show. We were very happy to be there. The next show, I believe, is in April. But there's so much happening. There's so much happening.
I know what April is.
And we got to go to House of Glory too in March.
Yeah, I know what April is.
Yeah.
Not only is it WrestleMania month, but
we gotta make sure we're gonna.
Are we making it an entire month, a week?
We're making it an entire month. Like, there's no question. I'm turning 35.
Into that for fan club, TWG.
I'm turning 35. It's an extravaganza. It's gonna be giving extravaganza. It's gonna be giving. It's going to be giving the ball. Pete knows what I'm talking about, okay? Like, we've already have vacation planned with the family. We already have celebrations planned out for me to be a total asshole. Like, I don't care what you do. We're going to be on King Liddy mode. Because Letty was like, I don't care to hear you vent on my birthday. And that's my voice.
Really
like, if you're calling... Yeah, like, if you're calling me to vent, like, sorry, I can't come to the phone right now. It's April. Bye. Do voicemail.
I'm sick.
35 is a big one, man. Now you can run for president legally.
Fuck this government. Anyway.
Yeah, so I think that's all of the housekeeping stuff out of the way. We will be in San Antonio, Texas this weekend for Royal Rumble. So make sure you say hi. Let us know what a party at. Yeah, I think that is everything on the agenda for that. We can get into my past weekend, but first off, how are you guys? What's been in your wrestling bubble this past since last Wednesday?
In my wrestling bubble, good question.
We turned up in Brooklyn. That was
We did. We did. You know what was good? Like lately I've been noticing that the manifestation is weird because I'm gonna be doing my vision board. I always save my vision boards for end of Jan because I feel like doing it beginning first year Jan is generic because you don't have a full layout. So I finally generated my list of what I'm gonna put on this year's vision board. And it's funny because on last year's vision board, I had like somebody at a table with a headset and a mic. And then this past year was when P asked me to come on the fan club. So I didn't notice that had came up on my manifestation. And so I was like, oh my God, like that was there. And then like the getting fit, the traveling to a beach. Like I had a beach on my vision board and I went to Virginia Beach for the first time and just chilled. And then Georgia and all these trips that I made. And all these things that I've done for myself. Like I told myself I was going to get a new career. And even though I had to go back to my old job, I still ended up getting a new career. Right. All these things that I didn't think to happen to myself on my vision board. I always doubt myself. But then I looked at my vision board and I was like, wait, some of this stuff did happen. So what about around 2? And I'm taking it way more seriously. Like I went to Michael's today and bought a frame. Like I bought like a frame. I ain't playing no games. Like we're framing that bad boy. So I'm very excited for the week I have coming up because even with I'm booked and busy for the next 4 days, which is rare for me. Mm-hmm. So it's just like all this stuff that's coming up for me. It's like I always say I love when you count me out because even me, I count myself out, but not this time around. Like things are happening. And that's all I can say. I'm blessed. That's all I can say about it.
I need to do my vision board because I have not even started on mine. But then
P's actually the reason why I started doing them because she I know you do it every New Year, so I was like maybe I should give it a shot. Like I've never really
done mine this year yet, so you're inspiring me to do it.
Ooh, so I thought we should do a party later.
Yeah, we should. Oh my God.
I got 2-for-1 frames, girl. Holla at me.
Justin, what's been going on in your orbit?
So I just switched over to the wrestling stuff now because the last couple of days has been very sports centric, especially with the Giants playing on Saturday. I have like all my other clubs going on. So, you know, Barca's doing good. So it's been like a lot of like, all right, we're going into Saturday. We don't know what to expect from this Giants game. And then going into like, you know, the Rumble stuff. Cause even like Friday felt like a mail-in for SmackDown. Like it was like you had the tag team turmoil matches, you had the Roman KO stuff, but then it was like, all right, it's like you're not mailing it in, but at the same time, it's like you're really saving stuff for the Rumble. So once the Giants got that ass whooping, god damn.
That was an ass whooping. That was. Me and P were in the bar and we were like,
oh,
so shout out to
Oh, so was I because I was with KRISTA and Brian. So normally I don't break my tradition of when it's an important sports game that involves one of our sports teams. I do not go out and watch it. I watch it at home because the last time that happened, 2010, Giants ended up losing an important game to the Eagles, and I nearly started a bar fight as a result because dudes were starting to mouth off, and I was on 100. Where I was like, I'm begging you to say the wrong thing to hook off. And my friends are like, you need to go. So as a result, I don't go out for important big games like that because it's like, nah, I need to pay attention, but at the same time, I don't want to be around someone that's going to say the wrong thing. I'm just ready to fight.
Justin, you was about to go ham.
That was 12 years
ago. On the $5 draft, people.
I have grown from then. I've grown. I'm no longer, what was that, 2010? So that's what, 25 at that time?
Okay.
We were older. So with KRISTA being in town, it's like, I will break tradition for KRISTA. So we watched it together. Me, KRISTA, Brian, and damn, I forget the other our other friend's name, but shout out to you. I'm forgetting the name on top of my head. And then we met up with Britt later. So once it was like an ass whooping, it was like, yeah, let's go switch bars. Let's go switch up and whatnot. So we ended up going to a rooftop bar in DC. And met up with Britt. By that time the game was over, and I was like, bro, I need to drink my memories away, but at the same time I gotta drive, so I got limits to this. Oh, I have chosen violence before Vaughn. That's why it's like, nah, keep me home for safety.
So
So now that they're gone, now we're into it's perfect timing because it's like Raw 30 just happened. We're about to get the Go Home SmackDown Rumbles this weekend, so it's like perfect timing.
I love hearing that because I was definitely ready to choose violence a couple times this past week, but we'll get into that. But all in all, I went to my first.
We are grown and mature now, but there was a time in my 20s where it's like you say the wrong thing. It's like, yo, fuck 5 minutes. I want 10. We're going right now.
I could
see you whooping ass.
I could just see it now. Like, yo, chill, Justin, chill. Shout out to Mike.
I am a Cancer. We are very chill. We are very friendly. We are very tolerable until you piss us off.
100%.
Snap the fingers. That other side comes out.
100%. Justin don't want the smoke. He just saying he can handle it now if it comes his way, but you don't want the smoke, right?
Nope. We're grown. We are
grown.
It's in God's hands. We are grown now.
Got you.
Totally are adults.
We don't want smoke. We want fire.
Oh God.
Well, fire. Speaking of fire. So this weekend, well, Monday. I don't even know what day it is. One week. I went to Raw 30 in Philly. It was my first WWE show in Philly, so that was like really, really fun.
Wait,
and I've been.
That was your first WWE show in Philly?
Yeah.
I thought you went to Rumble 2018.
No, and that's very triggering.
No, she didn't.
What?
She didn't because we were together.
Okay, because we'll get into that when we go into our favorite Royal Rumble moments. But hey, KRISTA B. But that was my first WWE show there, and Raw. Once I seen that Raw 30 was going to be in Philly, I was like, okay, I have to go. Raw premiered on my birthday in 1993, so it was only right. It was only right. So luckily, I was able to go. I was very excited. The show, I like the arena. Wells Fargo Arena is very there's no bad seats, if that makes sense. Like the nosebleeds are still like really good view. Like if you stand up, everyone can kind of see around you. Cause that's also something I've been like noticing too. And I was like, okay, this is a cool experience. Seeing the cage and all that. And I would say the first hour was like flawless. I was just like, okay, I'm so into this. You had the Roman Sammy storyline that literally had me on the edge of my seat, and you can feel everyone in the arena was on the edge of their seat. It felt like we were collectively watching like a play, because everyone was just like every single movement that everyone did in the ring, you could tell that like everyone was paying attention to everything. And I was really like, what is gonna happen? Because it's Raw 30. It's clearly a big deal. Something huge is going to happen. So it's just like, yo, what is going to happen? This is like huge. And it played out like the perfect telenovela that it was. And it led into
really
like.
Was.
Yo, it be given freaking without breasts, there's paradise, like old school, like telenovela, I swear. Because I'm sitting there. No, actually, you know what it reminded me of? Justin knows this show. You remember the telenovela Teresa? I swear it be given Teresa. No, because my teacher in college was like, the only way I'm gonna get you to understand Spanish is if you watch a telenovela, because I told her I like soap operas. So she said, watch them with the captions on. That's why people be talking shit in Spanish. I know when you talking shit to me in Spanish, because hello, you know how much they curse Teresa? So it was really given like, I'm confronting you because you betraying me type energy. And I'm like, why am I I have not been invested in this since AJ had everybody under her fingernails. I don't care what nobody say. I'm so invested in the Roman Reigns storyline. And I was sitting there like he was about to have Sequoia hit. We're gonna get into it. It was just I had to watch it. I watched it last night and I was like, yo, I'm mad I didn't watch this live. This would have had me rolling.
My jaw was on the floor watching this live. And then for Jay Uso of all people, the guy who's hated Sami Zayn for months, to not only catch Solo's arm, but grab the mic and come to Sami's defense and hit him with exhibits A, B, C, D, and E. I was like, wait, Jay?
Something's
Jay's
brewing.
gonna be the one that says him. It's like,
Something's brewing. That's why.
chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying, yo, what they should do for Mania, Roman and Jay. That's never been finished. That's been tabled, and it makes so much sense. Makes so much sense.
Yeah, forget Elimination Chamber is still advanced. It's still on us.
Yeah, and it's almost sold out. Shout out to Montreal. Y'all buying them tickets up hella quick. Salute.
And shout out to my cousin Mercedes and her husband because she's taking her husband to a WWE event. Mm-hmm. They live in Quebec City and they're going to their first one. And she was like, I'm about to go see what the fuss is about. He's so excited. She was like, he just like men hitting each other. I was like, girl, boss, gonna be more than that. You're going to be into it.
Well, and you get an elimination chamber. There's going to be some violence in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a cat.
Is that music I hear?
Pull out the head clippers. I'm here.
Wait. Not with the lights, yo. This guy thinks on one more podcast and now he has special effects.
Not with
He's
the
on
1980s.
one more podcast and he has special effects now. That's what we doing.
Not with the 1980s Vincent Kennedy Sr. production on the lights and shit.
Yo, first off, don't disrespect.
Saturday Night Main Event presents Brian Hollywood Waters.
Don't disrespect Brother Brudai. I don't have the permissions. I can't kick people out of the club, but you already disrespected Bow Wow. Now you disrespected Brother Brudai. Come on now.
Oh my goodness! If I'm gonna be the first person to get kicked out twice in a month,
I've been getting shamed all week on social media, but I've also found a community of Brutus the Barber Beefcake fans.
You found a Mandu community?
You found a community.
They do exist.
You found your people.
I found
19 of
We
them.
love it.
Do they be
We
on
love
time?
Brian finding his people. Yeah, shout out. You can't be having special sound effects and be late, bro. It was cute, but let's just show up on time, okay? I was early.
That's that Clipper game.
Oh
no, those head clippers used to hit heavy too.
Oh, they were super big. I was like, wait, how the hell has he got this and get away with it?
Because people couldn't see scissors.
Yeah, but when you're like 6, you're like, bro, can he go to the ring with these big ass python clippers?
No, when you're 6, you see that man got cool music. And I dropped this hot take earlier today. So if Queen PR don't mind, I'm gonna drop it again. His strut was better than Ric Flair's.
I'm gonna side with you on that one. That's actually kind of true.
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
You gotta go to videotape because I gotta remember his strut. Pause.
You gotta look it up on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. So I'm talking about his strutting. It wasn't me. Sorry, talking about his cutting. It wasn't me.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It caught me off guard. It caught me off
people,
guard.
one toss. I love it. I love it. This is already up to a great energy.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake has a better strut than Ric Flair. I feel like it called for it. It called for it. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
You're not sorry. We done had that conversation.
Brian H. Waters to pull up a video clip of the strut so that we can properly judge, because I have never seen him strut, but I did.
So how you gonna kick us out the club for something you've never seen? Man,
because that is iconic. So it's just like, okay, I never heard
quick
of
with
him.
The trigger, man.
That's all it is. I don't even know where Brian H. Waters went.
He probably left.
You didn't even throw him out the club. You throw him into the street, around the corner.
One time, I'm not coming back.
He said, "We're gonna be throwing me out."
I hop in, they're making fun of my lateness. They're making fun of the Clippers.
You can come back, Brian. You can come back. You are allowed back in the club. Oh wait, he's not even letting himself in. I gotta let him in.
That's a fuck your club.
He done left his own VIP section. I can't. After he done strolled up in here, you know what?
Kick me out. I leave when I want to leave. I come back when I want to come back.
Hello.
How are you, Brian? Welcome. Welcome to fan club.
He's like, I was good till I pulled up. Y'all three motherfuckers.
How are you?
You too.
Today, you feeling good? You feeling good? You had your Mountain Dew today. Okay.
Mountain Dew, some other things. I'm good.
He's got the fresh cut going. Nice.
Yeah. Gonna get it done tomorrow. Retwist it.
Look at you.
Hold on. Sorry.
We
love that for you.
Wait, so Brand, how did you feel about the Roman bloodline segment? Was it everything and more on Monday?
Mid. Ooh. No, it was the sorry, I'm sorry. I don't like the way this. All right, it was the highlight of the night for real. To be honest with you,
it wasn't mid.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But for another Raw anniversary, it was like, okay, this made sense. It was. I put it like this: if that wasn't the original segment that we were supposed to get, I thought they did a hell of a job, considering the fact that they didn't. It didn't feel like an audible. Like we were supposed to get the coronation of Roman Reigns, and
Oh shit! The segment made me forget about that. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, they had to they curved it
over
because of what was going on. Yeah, because of what's going on with Rikishi and everything.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Like it was good for what they made last minute. So I agree.
It was good. All in all, did you guys like the show? Was it like we've seen anniversaries? How did that go?
I just didn't. I was looking for something different. Like I can only take DX confronting the next big thing, and I'm not saying it because I'm a fan of Gunther. I'm putting my hand up on that. I'm not saying it. If it had been anybody else they confronted, I would say the same thing. Like, give me something new. Like I love Triple H. I love seeing DX. Shawn Michaels looks like he needs to just stay backstage. Love him too, though. But like every Raw, it's the same thing. What was in the ring was a cute backstage segment. Like they didn't need to put that in the ring. And there's so many things that could have been in the ring that we were supposed to get, but we didn't get. So does my bias stem from that? A little. Only because, like I said, the things that we saw this anniversary, we saw last anniversary. Because if y'all remember, like the Raw anniversary, I remember was when DX did come back. Triple H coming to confront and get Brock Lesnar to fight him at the next pay-per-view. Like they buried freaking, what was his name? Damian Sandow. Like it's the same thing. Like that could have been a cute backstage segment. I need to see it in the ring for the first half of Raw. Give us something completely different. And no one cares about fucking Hulk Hogan, so I'm not even gonna get into that.
I'm the biggest Hogan fan, and I didn't care about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I'm Hogan down.
I'll pivot into it because like my issue with this, like it was a good show, but someone brought this up last night on Turnbuckle Talk, and I didn't really think about this till like I've had like the last couple of hours to really let it digest. They really use the same type of legends every single time when they do these like 25th anniversary, 30th anniversary, this and that. It's usually Hogan, it's usually Flair, it's usually like same similar people. It's usually DX in some relation or whatnot. It's like, can we get like a mixture of like different legends? Because I know there's a lot of different Hall of Famers that would love to do this. Is it because of availability? Is it because of people working in different companies? Is it because of, people aren't have the best of health or stuff like that? It's like I would love if they just switch up the legends because it's like we've made it clear we don't want Hogan, but y'all bring him back because because Hogan's still top of our list.
My last point on this is because I'm already Raw 30'd out. Is that you say it's Raw 30? It's supposed to be the biggest one when you think about 30 years. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Why aren't you showing me tapes? Like you doing this whole gimmick with tapes, right? So, case in point, WrestleMania 10. If y'all ever go back and watch that, and I believe they did this at 20, but definitely 10. After every match, there was a WrestleMania Rewind, and they show you from WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2. Why not do that throughout the night, showing you a tape of a flashback of some key moments, and then bringing us to the forefront? You know, the person,
Because
somebody I would have loved to see would have been Bret Hart. And even if you couldn't be there, you have to showcase him. Bret Hart was a staple for Monday Night Raw. So, you know, like I was telling Shoemaker, I had to remind him that, yeah, Hogan was at Raw, you know, the third, fourth, fifth episode, because it was to set up him and the great Brother Brudai teaming up to go against Money Inc. at the great WrestleMania 9. That was Hogan's Raw debut, but he fought more against destroying Monday Night Raw in the ratings until he ran over the Rock with the truck. So that's all I have to say about that.
if I can just interject to your point, the reason why they have to admit, and I'm going to say in my low voice so I don't get kicked out the club, is because all the people that gave them their greatest moments, they don't want to showcase. And I think you know what I'm talking about, because even people that don't watch wrestling, aka my coworkers, shout out to Home Depot, they came up to me and they were like, yeah, what happened to that guy that sat on the stage and did a long promo? Why didn't they include that? Can't do that. Can't include his wife, who cut one of the only good promos. So you know where I'm getting at with this. You can't mention certain people, and that's going to get into what P's going to talk about next, because for the first time I find myself, well, second time, I agree with these lovely ladies as to what they got to say, but I'm gonna hold that till the next one. Go ahead, P.
Yep. So we are gonna get into all of that, and it's not just about Raw 30. It's about the presence of females that have changed wrestling and that revisionist history that we always talk about. And what does it mean to celebrate an anniversary if you're not gonna really include who's pivotal? You know. So we'll take a break, and we'll get back into it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, CRISTA B, one half of those wrestling girls, and we hope that you're enjoying this current episode that we have for you. You know I had to come in here, interject, and plug ourselves real quick. We want to tell you about our merch exclusively on foryourwear.com. That's right, For Your Wear has all of those wrestling girls merch that you want and need, not only for yourself, but for your friends, your family, and your loved ones. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have tank tops. So please go over to foryourwear.com to make sure you get those exclusive merch, those exclusive deals, and tell them that TWG sent you.
Another good memory on Raw. How didn't they showcase anything from the women's evolution?
But also the way we did our matches
Because
on
Sasha
there,
Banks did it, and they're like, we can't.
and the Bellas, there's a bunch of us. And
Mercedes is too over, and we can't say her name.
There's a couple other girls, and Rhea. There's a bunch of us they don't want to show. That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
When you do what they don't want to do,
It's
they
not
don't
what you
show
don't
you.
do, it's what you do.
You know,
Shots fired. Blah, 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 blah. Empty the clip.
So there is a lot to unpack about that video. And I'm going to try to keep it brief because, as you know, these are things that I'm very passionate about. The Bella Twins, the female representation.
I know this is your show, but you got permission to talk your shit.
No,
Let it out.
No, I'm not gonna get out the club. I'm good.
First off, one thing I do like is that Bella Twins, you would say, is like Team WWE. Like, there's certain people where you're like, that's a WWE guy. Like, and the Bella Twins are those people. So they only are going to speak out if they feel like they need to speak out. And the fact that the Bella Twins were vocal about that, because they were advertised to be on this show. The Women's Evolution was advertised to be celebrated during this anniversary. It was not. We were supposed to have an historic cage match. We didn't even mention between Becky and Bayley that a lot of people were excited for. I was sitting around little girls who were pointing at the cage that were excited about this match. We didn't get it. It was that half-assed storytelling with all that bullshit. It was horrible. Now, when you are celebrating 30 years of Raw, the 25th anniversary is like, okay, you may not get as many like women moments. You have the same like Lita and Trish main eventing, all that kind of stuff. My thing is, the 30th anniversary, there are a lot of moments that women have been a part of during Monday Night Raw that we could have celebrated. Like, not to mention the women's evolution, like when Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair were called up, when they shook everything up on a Monday Night Raw. Like, there were so, so it's like for you not to, like pay any homage to that, like to have for women to say that they were told that WWE had nothing for them. You have nothing for Hall of Famers. Like, you have nothing for someone who had a historic title reign. You don't have anything for it's like make it make sense. Like, you guys brought in a champion that was not even Raw champion and gave her like almost 10 minutes of TV time. So it's like, make it make sense.
They gave their champion a match.
She can't even talk about her moments that she had on Raw because some of them. All right, let's throw a bit and say, okay, some of that has to do with the people that aren't there. So Charlotte can't talk about the matches with Sasha because Sasha's not there. So that eliminates the second time women have ever main evented Monday Night Raw. That eliminates the third time they've main evented Monday Night Raw in that Falls Count Anywhere match and that entire feud. Okay, we can't talk about that. Here's the thing. You have Bayley that's on the show. Last I checked, Bayley won her first title on Raw against Charlotte Flair in Vegas before Fastlane. Boom, you have that. You also have Becky Lynch that happens to be on your show too. Gee, what happened after she became Becky 2 belts at the WrestleMania 35? Oh yeah, she was on Monday Night Raw with 2 belts. The first time a woman's ever done that. Could have did that. Yeah. You have a lot of other women that Alexa Bliss has done a lot of things.
My God.
She's done a shit ton of things for Raw brand. A lot.
There's so many things that you could allude to that women have done. And I think it's also just like, are we really that petty? Because I look at it as like 30-year anniversary. Like, my mom was watching it because of the simple fact is like, yo, I remember when that show came on. So my thing is, a casual fan that's watching an anniversary show that celebrates wrestling legacies, 30 years of wrestling legacies. My mom watching that would have no idea that women made the impact that they did. So it's like, that's where I feel like is the disconnect, where it's just like you're erasing everything that women brought to Raw.
Can we fucking
years?
Here's the thing. Why can't they talk about it? They own the history. So they own the likeness. I mean, they own the name Sasha Banks. You can mention
really asking that question?
No, but they did this. Like,
they showed it in the video clip at the beginning when they were showing the history of the 30 years. They showed Sasha winning that Falls Count Anywhere with her in the crowd holding the title. They showed.
Oh, what they fucking do? One fucking moment. Like, I'm sorry, and this is why. Oh my God, I try not to rage. I try not to preach. KRISTA, in the nick of time, save y'all, because I was about to drop the holy word.
Right on time.
Hey, girl.
Let me get situated real quick.
Speak on this.
My car real quick, as y'all can see, because I got KRISTA B's back out in these streets about to do an event.
We got to get you a production light for the car.
Hopefully you pulled over.
So you shine bright. Nah.
Oh my God, like, I'm real dark.
Light. That's an invention.
I need a car ring light. I'm not gonna stay long, But what I will say about Raw 30, I commend the Bellas for stepping up and saying what it is that they had to say, because as P said, and I promise you, I tweeted it out. I'm like, wait, so the Bellas aren't going to be on here? And all of those pictures that they flashed through the screen, they showed one woman, and that was the side of Chyna's face while DX was in the ring playing cards. They didn't even show Stephanie. I'm so confused. They didn't show Stephanie. They didn't make mention of Stephanie. They did nothing with Stephanie McMahon. They did nothing with Sable, Trish, Lita, and everybody's going around saying, "Oh yeah, they're just gonna save it for Rumble." We don't want to see that Rumble.
No, you're not.
We don't want to see that Rumble. We wanted to see it then because these women put in so much hard work and dedication, blood, sweat, tears into this business for you not to even whisper the name so we can kind of catch it and grasp it. And that's what disappoints me, because now it makes me feel like Vince had a hand in that, which is like, trust me, half those people who were at that arena, if it was not for the women that you called up to do this evolution, y'all would have had empty seats. WWE would have went.
That's a fact. I know. I probably would have been there.
I would have never, girl. I would have been like, Roy 30, who won? All right, no, I'm good.
And also, can we talk about it too? Where like how tired these same legend segments are. Like, I love APA. We've seen it. I love. I mean, like even. Like everything, like Hogan, like we've seen all of that. Like I was hoping at the 30th anniversary they would add like some creativity to the segments with women. Like it's like before you guys did the whole, remember that Legends night where all the women were like involved in like the 24/7 championship. So my thing is like, okay, well that's not there. Well, how about y'all do something a little bit more creative with the women, especially because there is a significant legacy to talk about. It's not like we're going back to bra and panty matches. It's not like we're just talking about the same shit. There is a lot of stuff that happened since Lita and Trish main evented that you can talk about. And it's the same old shit all the fucking time. And y'all were playing video packages. Y'all don't have to say Sasha Banks. You can show a montage of what the women have done. WWE is very good at that. Like there's no excuse of why y'all couldn't put something together that paid homage to the women. That even if y'all wanted to keep it low key because you don't want to talk about Naomi, you don't want to talk about Sasha, because if you talk about when everyone got called up, you have to kind of mention people you don't want to talk about, the AJ Lees of the world. But something would have been nice, and I really thought we kind of got past that point. And I don't know if it's because Stephanie McMahon wasn't there, and the fact that Brian mentioning this is the first time we're feeling that, it's like it breaks my heart.
It's real heartbreaking.
And if you can't talk about it, how about talk about the other women that you always ignore and gloss over because you always go from Trish and Lita and skip over to the Four Horsewomen? How about Maurice? How about Beth Phoenix? How about all those women during that era when Trish and Lita weren't there, but before Paige and AJ?
Wrestling is better when women are involved. I thought we already established that. And clearly they tried to take steps back. And that's what sucks.
That's 100%.
That definitely sucks. Thank you guys for letting me make my little cameo. I'm gonna let you guys go back, and I have to say one more thing. Go Birds, Justin! Go Birds! You can kick me out the club now.
Kick her ass out. Kick her ass out.
I can't kick her out. I can't kick her out.
You can kick her out and bring her back in.
Shit. Justin said he's gonna talk so much shit when the Giants was gonna smack the Eagles and
this mic?
Witness it. What? Who's smacking who? What?
You can sound off on this on Friday.
Go Birds. So I got to say, I love you all. I gotta go be a celebrity now. I gotta go be a celebrity now. I'll talk to y'all later. TWG Antonio. Later.
This is unnecessary harassment. Where is that counselor that does all the WWE stuff backstage? I need to talk to him. Even though it's not gonna solve anything, I need to talk to someone.
Dr. Shelby, I think
I need Dr. Shelby.
Yeah.
But she makes that point where it's like the women, they barely did anything for the women. You had an entire match that you built all week around. It was supposed to be three things: Roman and the Bloodline stuff, the Legends coming back, and this steel cage match that wasn't a steel cage match. Blink and it was like, it's gone. It was like, wait, what? Did I miss the match? And then all of a sudden, it's like, they didn't have a match. So you spent all week hyping up something that didn't happen at all. Now, I've heard people say that, well, you can always reschedule it. You know, it's Becky and Bailey. They've had them doing stuff. You built your entire show around this match that did not fucking happen. Like, imagine if you paid a ticket because you wanted to see the steel cage match and they gave you this. I'd be pissed. And then you don't know if they're going to reschedule it because they're not on SmackDown and then Rumble's on Saturday. When are you really rescheduling this?
Yeah, especially
and
now.
Reschedule it, guess who's not getting it? Philly. supposed
I
to
have
get
to
this.
agree with this. We didn't need that. Way too much time was given to that match. I didn't care about it. I didn't care about it. I could have lived without Charlotte's whole thing. My thing is honor the Raw champion. Like, I'm confused. Why is old ass Ric Flair honoring the SmackDown Women's Champion? Should
Because
be Bianca.
Charlotte Flair is the
and then
ace
Charlotte
of the
Flair
women's
giving
division.
Bianca permission to fight. Like, girl, I don't need your permission. Go sit down. Go back to fucking SmackDown, first of all.
Because
as a Charlotte fan, even I agreed with that. I'm like, girl, why'd you here? Like, I want to be, and that's why I miss Bianca as a heel, because Bianca would have been like, you don't even go here. I thought we already established you coming into places you don't go. Why are you here?
They showed you exactly how they feel about the women's division in that one segment. It all
they got
AEW
AEW
around Charlotte.
But
even
but
Charlotte's on SmackDown, we gotta get it.
So see, that even should bother you to be like, they have AEW problems. The fuck, like, nobody should have AEW problems. You know why? Because, and that's why I would say that I agree with the Bellas, because, like, when I tell you these girls broke their neck, like, hello, Nikki had to literally, like, they did too much for you to be like, oh, we don't have nothing for you. Like, the Undertaker showed up. You mean to tell me Michelle McCool couldn't find a babysitter? Like, what are you trying to tell me? And then for her to go on Twitter, to go on there and say they don't have nothing for me, and then even Candace McCool to go up there and be like, I didn't get a call. Maria Kanellis was like, I'm good. I made them my husband. I have my own wrestling promotion. I'm good. Don't call me.
That even goes to my point where it's now like legit legacies that you're ignoring that men have seen. Like, Nikki Bella broke her fucking neck honoring her responsibilities as being the longest running women's champion at the time. Like, they put in the work. It's not like they was just stripping clothes and shit now. Like, this is real shit that they did.
I feel like I'm disappointed because when Mickey showed up to Royal Rumble, right, there was hope. And it wasn't, and I don't care whether it's because they threw her stuff in a black bag. No, you could have showed your maturity to having people around by mentioning the people who made history. I understand Saraya decided to leave WWE and then show up in AEW a few months later. If you were really above that,
male wrestler that has moved to promotion to promotion to promotion.
Yeah, like
why is Paige being held to a different fucking standard? So, like, Mercedes finally went to Japan, just like every fucking old ass champion you fucking have. That's a man has done that shit, and you guys still pay them the same respect. So what is the difference?
Yeah, like, you could have really.
That's bothering me, because it's like it feels like we made so many steps back. I mean, so many steps forward to make so many steps back, because again, it's not like we're not talking about women that aren't doing the same shit that the men were doing. Like, we have almost 10 solid years since the women's evolution started in 2015 of women killing it, putting their bodies on the line, main event to WrestleMania, doing all the things that men have done. Like, I'm at a loss of why we're still not being held on the same level as the men. Like, I'm very confused. Bayley just celebrated her 10-year. I'm sorry, she just been here for 10 years already now, and it's not like all them years she was on a fucking. It's not like, no shade, when Alicia Fox was like 10 years in, where it's like, okay, that's cute. Bayley has been 10 years in putting in that work, but it's almost like that shit doesn't even matter because she's a woman, and it's not like how.
And that was unheard of in the past when you really break it down and you really go back and look at everything. What you just said, P, as far as 10 years for women, like, that was unheard of. You look at Charlotte Flair. Like, I just read a piece from Nick Vaughn. He put together talking about Charlotte Flair's 14 title runs and how this seems like the most important, because now they have to make this one important due to the fact that, you know, you had to get the belt off of Ronda Rousey, but you look at everything that she has to do in this title run. But then you also look at like Bianca's title run, where it's a lengthy title run. And like one of the comparisons he made, because like shout out to brother Brandon, he always says he's not impressed by Ric Flair's 16-time reigns, because he said that means he lost the belt 16 times. Where Lou Thesz had the belt for over 2,300 days. You know, he was a 3-time champion. He had it for over 2,300 days. So you look at Bianca's reign and why it's more impressive than Charlotte's. So when you brought up the fact that you had an issue with Bianca essentially letting Charlotte be the queen of her house, it didn't make any sense because Bianca been holding it down for going on a year. And I don't know which way everybody's predicting Sunday, but I almost want to say it's safe to say if she holds on Sunday, she's walking into Mania with that championship. You know, so like for her to have this lengthy title reign and her not to get that respect, like they could have done something better than Sonya Deville. Let Sonya and Charlotte keep their business on SmackDown, especially when you think about it. Sonya doesn't have a history with Monday Night Raw. Charlotte, yes, she main evented Raw. She's okay. I get that. Sonya, no. So,
And all I was gonna say was this: Wealth Warrior. I saw your point where you're saying it's a 3-hour show. Some things had to get cut. Here's my counter to that. We just had DX on the Raw in Brooklyn weeks ago. You just had Kurt Angle not that long ago when they were
and they always do this shit. Not for nothing.
Birthday.
Not for nothing. They always do that. That's always the fucking excuse. That was the excuse when they cut the women's match at WrestleMania in New York. Or it's a 4-hour show and we didn't make enough time. We had to cut shit. Like enough. That's a whack excuse at this point. You have a 3-hour show. You have a 3-hour show. Back then it used to be a 2-hour show. The last time it was we had a segment match for this. Enough. Anybody trying to hear none of that?
See, my thing is.
3-hour show. Not only is it a 3-hour show, you have been pumping this Becky Bailey steel cage match all fucking week. This is one of the 3 things that's like, this is why you're tuning in to Raw. Legends, Bloodline, steel cage match. Everything else came second, third nature, or if you're on the card, you're on the card. You did not need that. Why is Bray Wyatt and LA Knight bringing their business to Raw when all that shit's on SmackDown? Cool, we got the Undertaker moment. Dope, but guess what? This is a SmackDown match, not a Raw match. Why are they on Raw with this entire segment that carried on? Did not need that. That's the things where it's like it's a choice and it's a decision that's made where it's like, you know what? And let's move this over from SmackDown to Raw so we can have Undertaker come out. But this is a SmackDown match. Why is this coming on the Raw of all places? Same with like, let's have Charlotte, who is our SmackDown champion, come on to Raw and kind of take over, even though Bianca's right there. These are choices that are being made backstage where it's like, why is that choice being made? And the stuff that gets cut usually
because someone's back. Because someone's back and the person that would have kept everything the way it was isn't there anymore. That's why.
You know who we should have on the anniversary? The Repo Man. Where was the Repo Man? Y'all know he was on the first episode.
Brian,
where's Earthquake and Typhoon?
Wait, what? I'm dead.
Oh, I didn't even know that. But shit.
I'm
just saying.
I don't know. But like, but
you see where we're going with this.
Like, I would have.
It's like, yeah.
We seen X-Pac. I would have liked to see him as the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Plus, you also got to remember, like, there are families that go to these events. There are kids, so there are like little kids that are like, we wanted to see this match, and they don't know all these machinations that go behind the scenes of like, well, you know, we got to cut for time because we got to make sure Undertaker trottles his ass out there with the bike because he can't ride it correctly, or we got to make sure DX has like the full 15 minutes.
Can I ask y'all something?
The shade.
It was a hot take earlier this week. Do y'all think we ever see the Dead Man again, that Undertaker, or is it all American Badass from now on?
American Badass. I think Dead Man Taker retired with that Hall of Fame speech, and all the passages at 38, and the TED Talk. I told you, Mega Church Taker is here.
I agree because I think it's one of those things where the reason why he did the motorcycle one, where it was just like, I want to do something fucking different. That's more me. So I feel like now he's just like, I kind of just want to be more me. I'll make my little appearances, but you know, I want to talk. I don't want, you know. But see, I have people like my dad who are like, he hates American Badass.
I don't blame him.
He was like, where he literally texted me verbatim, where's my 4 to 5 minute Undertaker entrance? I was like, they're short on time. They're short on time.
Yo, you know what I would have loved to like watch with your dad is the Undertaker entrance from WrestleMania 33. because I remember that night.
Ridiculous.
So I'm there, right? And I'm looking, and all I kept thinking was, yo, that is a long entrance. So when Undertaker comes out, how are they going to do this? Because if you remember Goldberg, you heard parts of the song that you had never heard before. But when Taker came out, they literally pulled him up from the middle of the entrance, you know. And I don't know if y'all heard, but there's a petition for the Bushwhacker Luke to be at the Royal Rumble. And shout out to Ben, my co-host on Wednesday Worldwide. He said that he would hope if they do that, they would put him in the middle, so as you know, they got to do the whole gimmick that they would just like find somewhere in the middle, because you know the Alamo Dome is like long, so that's gonna be like a long entrance.
Oh yeah, remember last time they had Rumble where like the big guys had to take like the cart and go like and cheat all the way to the ring, because they're like, yeah, it's gonna take me like 20 hours to walk from this ramp to the ring, and then the guys and then like the Ricochets and like the Chad Gables of the world be like, yeah, you got to run that 100-yard dash to get to the ring. And
wait,
go
what
wrestle.
Wealth Warrior said was funny, and it just made me think. You know, we got Taker Rumble and Taker Roman at WrestleMania 33. Could you imagine if that Roman was the tribal chief?
Oh my god,
that would have been great. We wouldn't even turn out at WrestleMania just for their match,
and he would have been undefeated.
Oh my god, that was
like, god damn, where's Taker walking from? Sacramento? Why is this taking forever?
Fun fact: Sacramento is when the Giant Gonzalez showed up for the first time at Royal Rumble '93.
Jesus.
Y'all showing y'all motherfucking age on this motherfucking stream.
Look,
y'all go ahead with that.
Seindole, this is my season. So like Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, like this is my season. I got some big things planned for WrestleMania, leading into WrestleMania. So stay tuned. Hopefully it gets greenlit, but you know, stay tuned.
This is a fun time. This is my favorite time. I love Royal Rumble. It is like my favorite pay-per-view of all time. You know why? Because it encapsulates everything I love about wrestling, where it's like the surprise factor, just like the little stories that can be told during like a Rumble match, and then it literally kicks off big moments for leading up to Mania. Not so much anymore like it used to, but this is a very, 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 very fun time. But to close off this segment, and we'll take a break and we'll get into Royal Rumble, is I am disappointed. I feel like the women have truly proven themselves in the last 10 years almost to show that they have just as much of a valuable legacy as the John Cenas, as any of these people, and it was completely ignored on a 3-hour show. And saving them to Saturday is insulting. Like, I saw that tweet. It's insulting because you're telling me that there can only be a certain amount of women at a time, which means it's like we're not the same as, like, you know, think about how much they oversaturate the market in WWE with other shit. You know, even things that we like the Bloodline segment. Like, there's things that could have been cut short for an anniversary special, and it wasn't. Decisions were made, and it was made in the expense of the women who made history in WWE, and that fucking sucks. But
you're indirectly saying that they're not legends on the same level as Taker, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan. It's like they're here, they're there.
Right. Now, you know what's sad about that, Justin, is we're almost 10 years after the women's evolution. So that's what's the sad part, is we're still having the same fucking conversation. WWE Women Deserve Better is still trending on Twitter. So that just goes.
We have this conversation every 5 years. So,
you know,
it's like clockwork.
It's unfortunate. And it's why those wrestling girls exist. It's why we created this platform. It's why we have these places where we can discuss these issues. And it's not, you know, one of those things where, oh, that's just WWE. Like, no. It's not, and we're going to talk about why that's not okay, and we're going to give flowers to all the women that deserve their flowers. We're going to show the history that they have, and we're going to respect their legacies. And I appreciate everyone that's been a part of our community so far making that happen. Shout out to Rakarsha. So I think that is a good time to go into a break, and we'll go into discussing our favorite Royal Rumble moments, our previews for this Saturday, and some fun stuff we're looking forward to this weekend. So we will catch you after this break.
So what's up? What's your name?
Justin.
Krista B. Ebony.
My name's Vaughn.
It's Lawrence from 2.5 Bros. You know your favorite whole host, Mr. Hitter with the wee. Sean.
Who do you want to fight, or who do you think that you could beat in a wrestling match?
Miss.
Why?
Because I know.
Is that it?
Yeah, I got hands, that's why.
I pick Spike Dudley. That's an easy match for me.
I mean, Spike, he did some shit though. Like you really.
Nah, that's a fact. No, but I would smoke him though. Me personally, I would smoke him. But like other people,
Simple. Rey Mysterio, kick his ass. It's like, damn. Who's that flying?
Baby, do it.
Sasha Banks.
Why?
I'll beat that bitch up.
God damn.
That's why his move is 619. You don't know which area code he's in. Is he in the 212? Is he in the 619?
I'll beat her.
Why though?
Yeah,
You just
Brooklyn.
hey. You feel me?
Damn, I was gonna say Brock Lesnar.
I like the confidence. Like just.
He's on some type of alcohol. He said Brock Lesnar. He's wilding like this wasn't in the octagon or some shit.
A wrestling match. You said a wrestling match, but definitely in a boxing match, I'm working Brock Lesnar. I'm working like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. In a real boxing match with gloves and everything, yeah, fuck with me, bro.
Hey, I'm taking Zack Ryder. I'm going easy. Easy W. He from Long Island. I'm in Brooklyn, son. What's up?
That's it. Yeah.
The person I feel like that I could probably take on and beat in a match is definitely Emma. Emma came back. She did her thing, but I could take her.
Okay. Tell the people all the information for.
Make sure that you guys follow those wrestling girls everywhere: Twitter, IG, Facebook. Join our discussion group. Subscribe to our YouTube. Subscribe to our Patreon. You can follow me, Miss Krista B, MS_KRISTAB_, and on Twitter, Miss_Krista B.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm out of here.
But definitely in a boxing match, I'm working Brock Lesnar. I'm working like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
By the way, Krista, when I make fun of you for that KRISTAB, is that video where that shit started from? Go pull it up. You
did her shit with that intro.
That's where it started.
She didn't skip no letters.
Really did. So before we get into the next half of TWG Fan Club, Those Wrestling Girls Wrestling Fan Club with me, Queen PR, and my crew, we like to watch Dynamite as a family. So turn on Dynamite on another screen. Tune into us. We are going into our Royal Rumble predictions. So y'all already know I don't do predictions. So I'm going to let Shaw handle that. Who y'all see the women in the men's Rumble? Because I'm not going into it.
So I'm sitting here.
You expect me to do that? Girl, bye.
First of all,
might as well throw me into the Lions Den.
I was looking for the photos for WWE, right? And they just got Royal Rumble matches. So that tells me that I'm hoping that there's a lot of surprises. But the men, I can't not say Cody. It just feels like one of those years where all roads lead to him. But for the women, I've seen a lot out there. I've seen a lot of Bianca or Alexa, like whatever the way the match goes, it could flip. I'm going with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley got the momentum, and I think she's the most important member of the Judgment Day. And no, I'm not just saying that because I am on the Those Wrestling Girls platform, but I truly believe I've always felt that way. I thought that she would win the championship at Money in the Bank, to be honest with you. But when you look at the way, I feel like she's elevating the men, and I know that may sound crazy, but like Finn is Finn, former Universal Champion, world-renowned star, but I feel like she's elevating everybody else. But I truthfully believe that this is her Royal Rumble to win, and I would love to see a swerve and get a match with her and Charlotte at WrestleMania, the match that we couldn't get we got it, but it wasn't the same. Like WrestleMania 36. My bad, I was looking for my plates. Yeah, WrestleMania 36 was just like, let's try that again, because there was a lot of dope matches there, like Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. People forgot about that. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. So give me Rhea and Charlotte. You imagine how the storytelling and like
now that Charlotte's the ultimate baby face and Rhea needs to get her ass whooped, it could work.
Bingo. And like Charlotte's a natural baby face. If anybody's ever had like the honor to meet her, she's somebody who'll say, if you see me in the store, come up and say hi, ask for a photo. She's the ultimate baby face. I got a picture with her. It's around here somewhere, but like y'all would love Charlotte. So I love this for her. Better baby face than her dad. You know, Rick became a good babyface later in his career because it's because of who he was and just made sense and you loved him. But you know, Charlotte, even when you go back and look at her win, it felt like, oh wait, I grabbed the tights. Oh, I took the belt from the Rock. Wait, oh, thank you. You know, like, but when I think once she gets like more comfortable and more in the character, it's going to be great. So I'm Team Rhea versus Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Here for it.
I have been saying this is Rhea versus the field for like weeks because honestly, when you watch the product, who else is there to win? Realistically, maybe Raquel Rodriguez, but then they've been playing up that injury for a while.
Sorry,
but outside of that, it's really like Bailey and Becky are entangled with each other. Asuka's been absent. A lot of these women have been absent or haven't really been used, except for Rhea. So it feels like this feels like the most one-sided lopsided year for like the women that they've ever had since its inception in 2018, where it's like this really feels like Rhea should win this, and there's no one even close. Because even in 2018, where you had Asuka as the predicted favorite, you could have easily went the route with Sasha Banks and run back Sasha Alexa. You could have won with Bailey and have the redemption story with Bailey finally toppling Alexa on the big stage. You could have had a returning Nikki Bella. Maybe her neck is better, and you finally get Nikki Bella finally get in a one-on-one title match. Maybe you actually go Trish Stratus and go Alexa Trish going against a legend at WrestleMania. So 2018, you had a lot of different options other than Asuka. And then that's been the same thing, honestly, for the last couple of years. Even the one that Bianca won, you could have pivoted and done like Rhea because we didn't know who was going to happen on that Raw side. But this year, it feels so like this has to be Rhea's year because I can't even picture anyone else unless it's a major return we do not see coming. And even then, it's like, who's there to return? Well,
Sable.
I mean, there is a certain Glow Queen that's been
KRISTA would love
quiet and hasn't done stuff, but like it would take a monumental return. Otherwise, this is Rhea to lose. The men is hard because you pick Cody. I feel like Cody's lost a lot of steam because of that injury. Because Hell in a Cell was what 7 months ago. So a lot of us don't. And remember, before the injury, he had just came back to WWE. It's not like he's been here for like a year or two. So
you've been watching wrestling long enough. You know how that return pop is, brother.
Well, for a lot of people, they haven't seen Cody Rhodes in a long time, and a lot of people don't watch AEW. So it's like we haven't seen Cody since he left a long time ago. So you have to reintroduce Cody Rhodes to a larger audience because it's like
promos are for.
It is, but I feel like he lost a lot of momentum. That this, like, if he was here the entire time, I would say yes, this should be Cody's Rumble to win.
Okay.
But everything with the bloodline is so damn good right now. I feel like Seth makes a lot more sense. I feel like Sammy makes a lot more sense, especially if they're like, you know what, go in the Rumble, go number one, and if you don't win it, then Rumble's gonna kick your ass. And then there's a story that plays out with that, or maybe a Jey Uso. There's like other stuff that's, remember, Roman's going into the Mania with both titles. So you gotta go with what makes the most sense with that bloodline story. Cody doesn't fit it at this moment. So for that, my men's pick is gonna be Seth freaking Rollins. Because at the end of the day, Seth didn't lose that Royal Rumble match. He won that by DQ. So he still has a win over your tribal chief, and they've never run that. I think that was the first time they ran Seth versus Roman on Big Four pay-per-view. What's bigger than Seth, who is white hot over right now, versus your tribal chief, who is also white hot over right now?
Well, it's long-term storytelling.
Long-term booking. Shout out to Public Enemies.
You was there, like Seth Rollins talk, right? At WrestleMania Access. Was you at the Seth Rollins and Becky one?
What, this year?
Last year at WrestleMania Access when they had the panel discussion. He was there.
No, I wasn't there for that one.
One of the things. All right, so it was the morning of night 2, and the thing that he reminded everybody of was the fact that he did not lose. He beat both Brock and Roman. So that right there felt like it kind of planted a seed that he could be. It would make sense for him to dethrone the tribal chief. But I understand what you're saying as far like I understand what you're saying about Cody, but I do think that I think Cody's I believe that Cody's injury was a blessing in disguise because I always felt he would have got stale if you didn't put the title on him. So, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't want to say these words, but for the sake of the show, if we cannot get insert Krista's favorite wrestler versus Roman Reigns, I would love to see it be Cody Rhodes. And I think they could make it make sense. But then Sammy could project and we could have a Kofi Mania, Yeselmania like run.
You saw how that crowd was reacting to Sami Zayn in Philly of all places.
Mm-hmm. Yo, mind you, we were not supposed to be rooting for Sammy in this instance. We're kind of like supposed to be suspicious of him, but it shows.
And Philly's one of the toughest crowds to get over. That's the same crowd that booed Roman to the high heavens in 2015 in that Royal Rumble.
Ooh,
just saying.
That was rough.
But Sammy would have been well. Yeah. Yeah, so this is definitely interesting. Seindole.
I'm curious what Seindole's got.
Who you got?
Okay.
Manifesto.
Yeah, y'all already know what I'm about to say. Y'all know I want your Eddie back. Like, it's time for the girl. It's time for her to come home and get her reparations, get her tithes and offerings back from the people that took it from her in the first fucking place. Just come back. And she's already won at WrestleMania before. I feel like she deserves it again.
Can we just make sure we make this fact known that she's the first black superstar to win a championship
at WrestleMania. So I feel like why not do it twice? Like Quienes dos? Like, why not do it twice? What's wrong with doing it again? As far as the men's, as much as I would like for Cody, I'm really rooting for Cody. But like, again, the Teresa watching telenovela girl in me is rooting for Sammy to just come and fuck shit up. Like, the Usos go in there to protect Roman from having to go against someone new, and then Sammy somehow accidentally fucks it all up, and all of a sudden now you're stuck with Sammy versus Roman, and then you have them back. Like, it's so many storylines that even if Vince cannot fuck that up. Like, you can't look at that and can't tell me that even if Sammy were to win, and it would be like how Evolution fell apart to where Roman's like convincing Sammy, like, hey, you don't have to go up against me at Royal Rumble. You can just have this moment of that you won the Royal Rumble. And Sammy turns around and is like, no. Like fuck with me if you want to, because we all know I don't think Sammy will win at WrestleMania anyway. I think they're going to keep it on Roman for the next period of time. I think they're going to give Roman at least another 120 days, just to be fair, right?
I want to see him pass Hogan.
I want to see him pass Hogan too. So in my mind, diabolically, if I was somebody who got hired, and there's still a chance I could be hired on the writing team, never say never, that was what I would do. But like, in my heart, you can't bring back Cody Rhodes for nothing. You can't do it. It's not fair.
Right.
It's really not fair. And then like kind of what just like ties into what Justin was saying for the women's side, I also see the same thing on the men's side. I feel like Seth would be entertaining, but we've seen that before. I feel like Randall Keith is not there. So it's not like he's not going to be back anytime soon. So we can't expect him to just pop up out of nowhere. John Cena's done. Like, him and his ball spot are not coming back. There's nobody else I can really see besides those two people. And I'll just save the rest for tomorrow.
Him and his ball spot?
Yes, honey, that hairline was receding. Like, that just men couldn't help that in time.
Because, but I feel you, girl. Can we put the name Vince in a box? Because
wait.
Yes.
Yeah, we are. We are gonna put. We can't.
Because I know he's back in the fold, but I don't want to blame everything on him.
I'm not blaming anything on him, but here's my thing.
It does feel like damn, or maybe it could just be like a mental thing. It's like, oh damn, is it because he's back that all these things are happening?
But here's the thing. I don't even think it's because he's back. I just think that, remember, there's been a lot going on in the company. So with a lot going on chaotically outside of the company, there's going to be chaos and it's going to project onto the screen. I'm not fully blaming his return, right? I just think that right now, and then you always say it's exciting for the fans, right? But to me, from the outside looking in, it always feels like WrestleMania is the moment where everybody's like a headless chicken or like a puzzle piece. And because you want one of the best shows of the year, you're going to take these little puzzle pieces that even if the puzzle piece don't go together, you're going to jam those puzzle pieces together and make it work. Like, you won't have a tag team match till 2 weeks in the WrestleMania. Why? Because you don't know who will be the person to put on the spectacle. And as much as we want long-term booking so bad, it ends up that way. But what happens when the show happens? It ends up being the greatest motherfucking thing on the face of the earth. It's just now that we've gotten so spoiled into long-term booking that the minute that we see something that does not work, we're instantly blaming that person. But like I said, I don't even fully blame him. I blame the people with the puzzle pieces that want to jam them together without putting a full plan together. And this is the first time you have an open opportunity to finally put your pieces together. We as the fans are just kind of asking, hey, whatever y'all think y'all doing jamming these puzzle pieces together, don't do it this year because it worked perfectly when you put all the pieces together last year. Just try and do the same thing this year. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't know about last year because everyone shit on both Rumbles last year. So
last year
is not even. Well, the thing is, like, you can't tell me last year's Royal Rumble still didn't entertain you up to WrestleMania. Like, I found Homeboy winning the most hilarious thing in the world. Like, I found him.
Won again?
Huh?
Was it Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar and
I found it hilarious.
Rousey were your winners last year.
I found it hilarious.
Literally, them winning is a microcosm of what.
Thank you.
Wrong with
they won too.
They forgot because again, it was
the fact that I fucking forgot, and the fact that they won. See, this is my thing with Royal Rumble. What I used to love about it was that it felt like kind of like the Intercontinental Championship, where it felt like it was somebody that deserved it. It was somebody that it was a story. It was like, okay, like they worked up to this, and whether that story happened that night in the match or if it was a buildup of many other things, it felt like it was a continuation of like an ongoing story or one that needed to start or that was going to start and lead to WrestleMania. So with this, like last year's Royal Rumble, especially with the women's one, I can't even tell. I don't even remember the men's one. Which says enough. It was like the story of all the legends. Obviously, like fucking Melina's not gonna come back and win. I get it, whatever. That was fun, but it was like to kind of like have all these legends and then have like all these like lack of stories that could be told, and then to have a part-timer of a part-timer come back that we didn't even want back to end up winning. It just kind of felt like the rug was like kind of like pulled.
You rushed Sasha back from a high ankle sprain to get eliminated before the 10th spot. So you didn't even get Sasha and Bianca interacting. You didn't get none of that. And Sasha was a heavy favorite.
Right.
But the closer you got to Rumble, the more of the bubble of like Ronda's returning and winning was just like feverish. And with Brock, I think the word had gotten out that they really wanted to do Brock and Roman at WrestleMania. So it was a matter of how do we get there? Well, Brock's going to lose his title and then jump into the Rumble. So everyone knew that was happening. And that was also the Rumble. And that was also the Rumble where Shane had a lot of hand in that Rumble. And that was last time you heard
reportedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to mention shout out to AEW as we watch.
That was a beautiful tribute.
A beautiful tribute to the late great Jay Briscoe.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, so we'll be here if they run the match before 9:00 with Mark Briscoe taking on Jay Lethal. But also, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Jay Briscoe. And, today would have been his 39th birthday, I believe. So shout out to Mark for even being able to wrestle. I mean, they wasn't, they was, I believe, a year or two apart. But for the longest time, I honestly thought they were twins because before Jake started growing the hair, I couldn't tell them apart at first, but they were so good. And
he passed the day before his birthday too.
And as somebody who had a chance to like meet them, just phenomenal people.
Yeah.
Definitely have their family in our hearts, the wrestling community. He touched a lot of people. And just to have the strength to put on the show tonight. So hopefully we can watch out as a family, but we definitely have all of that in our thoughts for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But yeah, okay, talked about the matches. What about the championship match? Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss. Y'all heard my quote unquote unpopular hot take last week, but how do you see this going?
What was that hot take again? Remind us.
I would not be 100% upset if Alexa won. And that's because I am into the chase. I'm into see, now that our conversation tonight about like long title reigns, I kind of changed my mind. But last week, that was my take. However, I do like to be surprised. I do like for things to be shaken up. I hate when things are predictable. And I feel like Alexa Bliss and the story, it could be something. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, this is I understand exactly where you're coming from. I'm thinking of a last title reign that jumps out the mind that went from WrestleMania to the Royal Rumble. And if it's not one of John Cena's first title reign, no, I think that was the Elimination Chamber. But the one that jumps out to my mind is the Ultimate Warrior, 1991. That was a great year, by the way.
It was. Shout out.
I have to say this. I wouldn't be upset because Bianca has been established as a top gal that, like, when Naomi lost the belt, which I expected her to, she just kind of got like thrown back to the wayside. Let's be real. Same with Kofi Kingston. Bianca has established herself too much outside of the ring that wouldn't happen. Now, I also, knowing that just because we know things, right? We know the television show is coming. I wouldn't be surprised if she holds on to the title. But I'll finish my point with this. At Clash of the Castle, that was the last time I felt Roman Reigns' title was in jeopardy when he went against Drew because of the spectacle. They're doing such a great job, which is the way I love my wrestling, where I don't know that Bianca's going to win because there's the Uncle Howdy factor and everything that comes with the Fiend. He could cost her just as much as he could help her. But then that also puts Bianca right back on the chase, either way you look at it. So I feel like this title match shows that she's still more in danger now than she was in her matches with Bayley. And I actually picked Bayley to win one of them. So
Agreed.
Man, this is good stuff.
Right. That's my take. And also, like, I look at it too. I am personally not a fan of long title reigns. So I'm just like, because Stone Cold didn't hold the belt for long periods of time. Like, it was the whole.
You think it's time for her to hang it up?
But like, he also dropped it sometimes, like for whatever reason. Now that we know things, but that was fun for me. Where it's just like, oh shit, like okay, like it was a part of things. So like, I mean, I love my girl. Yeah, I know I love my girl Bianca. I think she's a phenomenal champion, but it's also not like Alexa Bliss is some random. Like she's a multi-time champion. The story is good. And I also wouldn't mind seeing Bianca win the championship at Mania as opposed to losing it. Yeah, I know how that can go as well. So
she gotta beat Charlotte though. If she's gonna win it at WrestleMania, she has to beat Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because she gotta complete the cycle. And that's what she said. She wanted she wanted to be the first person to pin all 4 of them.
I agree.
Wow.
Yo, she 100% has to.
Damn.
Dude,
she was not a fan.
How did it on Yankee and out the chat?
P. I don't know if you remember this. I know Justin has to remember this. Remember when TV used to go off?
Yep.
And they would sing the Star Spangled Banner, and then that scream would come on.
No, I did it on purpose. I'm kicking myself out because to help with all 3 of you and your opinions, and y'all can kick me out the club for that. Because guess what? I already told y'all my prayer circle, and my prayer circle won't be. Yeah, I don't care. You look like you were coinciding, so you part of that too. Let her keep it till WrestleMania. Okay,
but then what?
Let her keep it. If she drops it, she drops it. Yeah, but her legacy is already secure. Like, what else can you do? Because what's she going to do? Oh, maybe go to SmackDown and take that one too? What would be so wrong with that? What would be so wrong with that? Why does it have to be a Royal Rumble? Why can't it be at WrestleMania? Y'all tell me why it can't be at WrestleMania. Let her keep this belt until WrestleMania.
I'm a fickle wrestling fan. Like, it could go either way. Like, I'm talking shit.
You're not even that. You're Switzerland. You tend to be Switzerland sometimes. So it's just like,
I'm here for the moment. I'm here for the spectacle. I'm here for all that shit. So
I'm here for the moment of her not losing at the Royal Rumble. How about that? And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I mean, I kind of being angry and yelling at people and all that shit. Even if she does lose, like it's like.
You just want to... No, but here's the thing: the only scenario will work out in that like perfect scenario is if they do play back and forth. Like, but then again, it's going to wear me out. Like the 3rd time you're going to win at WrestleMania.
That's not.
Then what's the point of the Royal? No, because here's the thing. No, guys, come on. Like, let's be logical about this. If she goes in and she wins, right? You also have the women's elimination chamber. Y'all completely just forget about fuck the elimination chamber where anybody can lose a championship. Who's to say Bianca won't lose that?
Also have not put attention into the elimination chamber, at least on the women's side, enough for me to think it's a factor. Was there even one?
We can't eliminate that factor.
When you get into a debate whether or not there was an elimination chamber,
there wasn't because Becky went up against Lita. Inside it. That's why.
So there was not an
that was just a regular match.
It was just a regular match. It was just
Bianca earned her stripes at the Elimination Chamber last year because she didn't
win
the Royal Rumble.
She didn't win the Royal Rumble.
I didn't remember that shit because it just doesn't feel like a thing to me as much. I think
it was overseas too.
Right, and I think it falls a weird time because it's kind of like if your birthday's around Christmas and New Year's, where it's like it kind of gets lost in the shuffle for me. I think the timing of Elimination Chamber is very like because you have the Royal Rumble and then like right after that you have Elimination Chamber and it's like 2 big matches, and then with the women it's very like kind of haphazardly put together. So it's just like so you're kind of just waiting for Mania, in my opinion.
I feel like that's a slap in the face to anybody who has a birthday around Christmas and New Year's, because you basically saying they shit the fuck out. You damned if you care, damned if you don't.
They kind of, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
No, I get you. I get you. But I feel like the elimination, because remember, when did that happen? That happened before, where the champion went into Elimination Chamber and they lost their championship, and it was like right around the corner from WrestleMania. I feel like it could happen again. Like, you never know.
That happened. Yes, that's how Brock got his title. Because
that's how Brock got his title, right? So I would, and listen, I hate to bridge up, but I don't like being on opposite sides of y'all, but I'm not here for it. I think Bianca's gonna win.
I mean, I was going to say before Seindole made my pick for me, Bianca wins or Riot, because if Bayley, who also was a multi-time champion, just like Alexa, couldn't get it off Bianca, and Bayley had an entire crew behind her, I don't see Alexa really getting this on her first shot. The Uncle Holly stuff, you said it perfect, Brian. That can go either way, but it can also cost her. And we didn't do all this. We didn't have such a huge-ass moment for Bianca to finally conquer Becky at WrestleMania and finally get that title back after all this shit from SummerSlam to there, just to have her to drop it when she's at the footsteps of Mania and the next biggest Mania in that big ass stadium in SoFi and whatnot, and her maybe having a chance to maybe headline a night of WrestleMania, going in calendar as champion to champion, which hasn't been done for the women since Becky Lynch from 35 to 36. And then the fact that we don't know who she's going to be challenging, I don't want to see her drop this. And at the same time, I've said this many times, I've picked against Bianca enough to where I'm not picking against Bianca until I actually see her physically lose this title. And I don't want to see her like Seindole. I don't want to see her winning back at Mania because we got that the first 2 years. That's how she got the title from Sasha. That's how she got the title from Becky. We kind of need a break from
and then
taxes. Bianca wins at Mania and she goes 3 for 3.
Just think about
to switch that up a little bit.
Just to think about the 2 people that I'm personally choosing are also 2 people she's not beaten yet. So why are we taking away the joy and excitement for Alexa Bliss? Not for nothing. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested to see. We've seen Bianca conquer her mountains. Let's see who's next. There's 2 people that are next.
Another thing that I've also predicted on the previous fan club. All right, let's say Rhea Ripley wins the Royal Rumble and chooses Charlotte Flair, and we need a challenger for Bianca. I've said, a match that we haven't gotten is Bianca versus Naomi.
And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. That, and you've seen teases of her and Rhea. You've not seen a full-blown match between the 2. Why are you going to spoil it to give the title to Alexa Bliss? What? Doesn't make no sense. Sorry. No disrespect to Alexa, but no.
Plus, Alexa hasn't held that women's championship in a long time. You really want her to come off of, I need Uncle Howdy to do it. You kind of want that to be a big-ass deal because she hasn't held the Raw SmackDown Women's title since...
Yeah.
After
to wrap it up, Tia and Tamara are not impressed with that.
When she lost it to Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, what was that, 2018?
Yeah, Tia and Tamara are like, no, that doesn't make our nipples hard. Let's keep it where it's at.
Cheech and Chong agree.
On that note,
the nipples are not feeling it.
All that shit up. So
the chesticles are not feeling it.
Stop.
Okay. So I'm very excited about Royal Rumble this weekend. We shall see. We either gonna have a long title reign for Bianca or Alexa gonna take it. And now the road to WrestleMania, Brian's favorite season, begins. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about. The show is gonna get really jam packed in the coming weeks. I'm very excited for that. But now I'm excited to look back on some of our favorite Royal Rumble moments. So in the meantime, guys, go on your social media, invite everyone. We are going to chop it up about some of our favorite Rumble moments. This will be the 30?
I lost count. They should put numbers on them.
Yeah, they really should.
At least 30.
At least 30th. At least. Yeah, 30. If there's
all I know is I'm older than the Rumble, but not by much.
Okay, yeah, let's put it that way. So we have a lot of favorite moments to get into. So we will catch you after this break.
She could have definitely been, still making residuals off the magazines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, when one door closes for one, come on.
I mean, that ended up being one of the highest selling Playboy issues at that time.
Because China took over.
Yeah. And the interesting part is you don't have to know wrestling to find Sable attractive, to be walking in a supermarket and this is on, you're going to pick it up. You're going to look at it. But yeah, once this happened, she became not just a star in wrestling, she became a star in pop culture. And her chest reflected it, her TV time reflected it, and a lot of women, including Sunny, were not happy with that at all, especially because you're coming into wrestling and you're not a wrestler.
Why the Royal Rumble? Why is that your favorite? When did it become your favorite?
Love our Sable episode. I love our Spotlight episodes. We just dropped our first part in our Charlotte Flair series, and we're gonna give women their flowers on this fucking show. WWE may not, other platforms may not, but we're gonna do that. That's why we went to events like Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame. and we make sure that we acknowledge women that deserve the recognition. But let's get into our favorite Rumble moments. I'm sure we all have a lot of the same ones. Who would like to start with theirs? Because I can probably talk about Royal Rumble for like ever. So, what are some of your favorite moments, guys?
I'll go because I don't know if we're gonna mention this person's name on the receiving end of this move, but the Walls of Jericho on the ladder at the 2001 Royal Rumble. Let me see if I can get through this one. This is one of my favorite Royal Rumbles, the last one I watched with my grandmother. And I vividly remember watching this match with her because her brother had died 2 weeks prior. So we was talking about his memory and whatnot. And we sitting in the kitchen and we're watching the Rumble and we're watching this match. I'm like, my grandmother was funny because she swore she gave Stone Cold the phrase "open up the can of whoop ass." Like she said, somebody who knew her gave him that line. But yeah, she was like, wait, what does he say? We was watching a Sunday Night Heat one day in '99, and she goes, "Open up the can of whoop ass." I've been saying that for 30 years. Somebody who knows me gave that line to him. But so we was she ordered this Rumble for me, which happened to be on my sister's birthday, her 13th birthday. And I just remember like this is like when I do my favorite matches every so often, this match is up there. And the reason why I love the Walls of Jericho and the ladder because it was the first time we ever seen this done, but this would also go into the video games for years to come. So but like him and the person we don't name had so many incredible classics, but right here, and then I always watch the 2001 Rumble, obviously Stone Cold winning, just a moment in itself because it gave us Austin Rock 2. But you also think back, it was Austin coming off his injury as well. And like, yeah, Rock and Triple H held it down in 2000, but let's be real. Stone Cold was missed, no doubt about it. So, but yeah, so the 2001 Jericho doing the Walls of Jericho, definitely my favorite.
Great moment. I almost forgot about that, and I didn't realize that happened at Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. I watched that match I watched that Rumble every year.
It's a great match. It's just a lot of he who shall not be named and certain shots that he who shall not be named takes in that match is one of the reasons why we don't discuss it more.
And you know what?
Because it's an incredible IC title match.
His match with Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship in 2003 is another classic that I've always enjoyed.
Yeah, that's like but no, that's a great moment, and I remember watching it vividly, like in the moment, for sure. What year was that?
2001.
Yeah, that was like in the thick of my fandom too, where it was like I was watching.
I always felt about 2001. WWE came in real hot, but then when The Rock left, it hit rock bottom because Austin had to become a heel. That felt like if he would have been a babyface and it would have been him and Triple H going through the motions throughout the rest of 2001, it would have been good. But Austin Triple H teaming together, no.
That was the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression era, wasn't it?
No, you had about
you had the 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. My time is a little
that 2001 Royal Rumble, if you haven't seen it, go pull it up on Peacock. That's one of my 5 favorite Royal Rumble pay-per-views. You have Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian in a huge hot opener tag team. It's one of my favorite Dudley Boys matches. You have, was it Triple H, Kurt Angle for the title? You have Chris Jericho, he shall not be named for that IC title. Of one of the 3 best Royal Rumble matches of all time, or top 5 for me. I don't know where you put it on the 5, but definitely top 5 Royal Rumble matches. It's a pay-per-view worth going back and watching if you guys got time.
Yeah. Is the 92 Royal Rumble the one where Ric Flair won?
And speaking of the 92 Royal Rumble, let's go to my pick because that's exactly what I have. Ric Flair wins the WWE title in 1992. This is the first Royal Rumble I remember watching vividly. We had thrown a wrestling watch party in our projects because this is when I was living in the Bronx. We went to someone's house. I forget where. It was like a whole bunch of us. It's the first time you ever had the WWE Championship being defended in the Royal Rumble because of the whole shenanigans between Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and The Undertaker. So that whole stipulation was Hogan and Taker come in after 20 towards the end, and that's when Ric Flair comes in at number 3. Heenan's on commentary, loses shit. No, damn it. This is not fair to Flair. You can kiss it goodbye, Brain. And Ric Flair basically having to almost run the entire table from the number 3 spot. Finally gets a breath when the ring is clear, just for Roddy Piper, who just won the IC title earlier, to come in, kick his ass, and the crowd going electric. And then you start getting the heavier hitters towards the end. Your Hogan, your Taker, your Macho Mans, your Jake the Snakes, and whatnot. And for Hogan to get eliminated, and that crowd originally went ape shit because it was a big deal, and then they kind of did their magic to make it look like, oh, it wasn't a big deal. Like, no, people were happy that Hogan lost because Sid Justice was being built up. And then for Hogan to kind of cost Sid, but then Flair to toss him over and finally win the Royal Rumble, went, I think, 1 hour to win the title. And because of the whole shenanigans with Hogan and Sid Justice, he had to do his celebration backstage, but it led to the greatest promo in Ric Flair's career.
Cut it. Go ahead.
This is the greatest moment of his life. Heenan's going crazy behind him. Perfect's
Put
going
that
crazy
cigarette
behind him. Put that cigarette
Oh my
out.
God, that's from that moment?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh
That is all from that moment. And in one night, that made, I didn't know who Ric Flair was before then, but man, 6-year-old Justin was like, holy shit.
I love that. So...
Mind blown. Like the rest of us were just mind blown. Mind you, we were kids in the projects, and we're just like, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen. So that is my Rumble moment.
Man, what a night.
I didn't know about that until after, and I went back.
Iron Man without going Iron Man.
Wow.
Well, one of the things you brought up that I hope wasn't missed was Bobby Heenan being upset at the number, because
it is the all-time best commentary from Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, where Gorilla's just rubbing it in. He's like, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Take your time. Stop fighting people.
Because
it's not a skirt, it's a kilt, Flair. Thank you, Flair. It's not a skirt, it's a kilt.
Yeah, 3 years later, the same thing happened when Shawn Michaels went the distance. Vince McMahon really sold like Shawn Michaels won't win the night, and he kept on saying it. Now it's, you got Edge, you got you got Shawn Michaels, who've been number 1 and went the distance. But before, it was never, it didn't happen. So I love that, but they had a good call out on that one.
It's just perfect. It's my favorite Royal Rumble match of all time because of everything. And it's well paced too. There's no point where it lets up. Once Flair comes in.
So I saw a tweet earlier that said that Royal Rumble was overrated.
I mean, I would see why. I see why people think that. It's definitely one that you had to be there for. Like as time, it's because people hold it in such high regard, but like Justin just gave his whole reasoning. You can't take that away from him, right? Him being 6-year-old Justin, watching it, thinking about where he was. You can't take that away from him. That's the thing, So I understand. And a lot of times I would be wondering how old was the person who made this tweet? Because, these ruthless aggression babies don't know nothing. And they're quick to call the Attitude Era overrated. But a lot of things with wrestling, you just have to be there. That's like me saying, "Oh, Magnum TA was overrated." I wasn't around.
And out of all the times, like we just said, over 30 years of the Royal Rumble, only twice has a title been on the line in the Royal Rumble match. Because Roman had to defend it when he, 2016. Roman had to defend his title in the Royal Rumble. This is the first time that title's vacated. Whoever wins this match gets the fucking title. That's never been done before.
First time it had championship implications, period. Because the next year
it was a huge fucking deal.
Yeah, the next year to be the first time that you get the title shot, and that's when Yokozuna won. But before that, it was just a match, where Hogan won a couple times.
And then look who was in the Rumble. You had Flair that won it. You had Hogan, where Hogan was Hogan. You had Macho Man, who was a multi-time champion. You had Slaughter, who had won the title the year before. You had Undertaker, who literally had it like weeks prior at that This Tuesday in Texas before he lost it. You have so many people that have been champion at some point. You had Roddy Piper, who had just won the IC title earlier, the first time and only time he's ever held a title in WWE, trying to be a double champion. You had a lot of different stories going into play. And on top of, for a lot of those jobbers, this is your shot at the title. This is the only time Repo Man could be like, I have a legitimate shot at this title.
This is like that was like the first Rumble that like really mattered because then it kicked off the whole like you get a title shot thing, and I didn't know that, so I'm like, oh shit. But also it's supposed to show you the storytelling abilities of this one match, because Justin didn't know Ric Flair from before, like, you know, like I would have not known that because I only watched WWE, so I would have been like, okay, this like, I was gonna say, oh god, this guy just is coming in and he won, but it was the storytelling of the match. It was his promo afterward that it made a moment for you where you like now care about now who is champion now. Yep. So it just makes me love like Royal Rumble even more.
Top 3 Rumble match. This is my personal favorite Rumble match of all time. Anyone that says it's overrated, do your Googles. And I don't want to see your ID. If you're under the age of 21,
right, then I'm not even thinking
already
as a person.
Damn, you gonna card them? Damn.
Yes, I'm carding.
When it comes to music and wrestling takes,
yeah, no.
Before I put my heart and soul into a conversation with you, so I'm like, I need to know what year you were born.
Yep, because there are much worse Rumble matches. There are a lot of bad Rumble matches. This is one of the few that are like extremely good. Matches.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like there's more underwhelming Rumble matches than there are really good Rumble matches.
Speaking of underwhelming Rumble matches,
nice
that went into my pick for the Royal Rumble, and I'm only choosing this pick is because when I talk about how the Royal Rumble is a mashup of messed up puzzle pieces that everybody scrambles to put together, but however, it does lead to a really good WrestleMania, I feel like John Cena's return at MSG was the first time that, first of all, let's get into it. This Royal Rumble to me is always interesting, right? Because you would expect like the winner of the Royal Rumble to wait to get their chance at the WrestleMania. That didn't happen this time, which is rare in many occasions. He chose the next night on Raw to face, at the time Randy Orton was the champion, to face Randy Orton. And when y'all, all you marks out there that love a good long-term booking, y'all know that John Cena and Randy Orton is one of the longest reigning bookings that you can never get away from. Like, these men fought each other a few years ago when Randy had both titles. They can't get away from each other. But then what made it interesting, his return, you would think, like I said, he would go on and he would be like, I'm going to win at WrestleMania, and he would shine at WrestleMania once more. This is one of the first times I actually saw them make him look, he was untouchable for such a long time in the beginning. This was one of the moments I realized that maybe John Cena is not as untouchable as everybody thinks that he is. And this is why. If y'all remember, after this WrestleMania, after this Raw, he went on to try and get the title at Raw. That didn't happen. He lost via disqualification. But then, like I said, back when the Elimination Chamber was on and popping, Triple H had won the Elimination Chamber. Then, because they were going back and forth, like Triple H deserves the title shot, and, John Cena technically didn't lose, so we really can't. They went on to have a triple threat match at WrestleMania, but who won at WrestleMania? Think about that.
Randy Orton with a hand, right?
That. Randy Orton with a hand, baby. Randall Keith came up on top. So when I try and tell y'all the reason why I like this aspect of, y'all could think this person's losing at WrestleMania, whatever y'all want, but y'all have to understand, you can't get mad at the man. The man is crazy, but the man got a plan for his plan. This was, to me, one of the most well thought out, I didn't see this happening plans to ever happen in wrestling. And a lot of things happened at that Royal Rumble that people don't remember. Y'all know that Ric Flair technically had his first retirement match there because he fought with MVP. And MVP couldn't beat him. And then I know at Elimination Chamber, somebody else couldn't beat him. But then it took Shawn Michaels to retire him. And it was interesting because I know at the time, back then, a lot of people thought that The Undertaker was going to take it and go on to WrestleMania to win again. But that didn't even happen. Shawn Michaels ends up eliminating The Undertaker. So it was just like a mash-up pile of things that a lot of people didn't expect to happen. But what I liked was that's the kind of thing that makes me anticipate WrestleMania even more. Like, this don't make no sense. But what are you getting to? Like, make me excited about the buildup of it. I don't want like not for nothing. If it wasn't for dirt sheets and all this stuff, I tend to like not even get on social media. Like, probably after tomorrow, if everybody tunes in, I will not be on social media until Saturday because I don't care to see who's backstage. I don't care to see who was booked. I don't care. I want back when I was like the only girl that I knew in high school still watching wrestling to know who's coming back when I watch it.
Right.
So for me, I need that unpredictably valid. Like, I'm telling you, everybody thought, okay, this is going to be a typical John Cena's going to go to WrestleMania and become a umpteen time and champion and get the. Nah, that didn't happen, and I like that did not happen.
Especially considering he was hurt.
Exactly. Like, you can't, like, you want to make him Hercules. He don't have to be Hercules. He really don't have to be Hercules. Like, okay, not for nothing, seeing Triple H win. Was that going to be exciting to you? No. But did you really get a fun kick out of watching Randy Orton become an asshole after winning at the WrestleMania? You did. Can't nobody tell me that they didn't. So.
Yeah, but you know, one of the things that just I wish we could use video because the reactions.
Yes.
When Cena's music hit.
You got
that reaction
in MSG at a time where people were really over Super Cena and got a man. It's John Cena. That's where a lot of that shit, that fucking those prank calls, where it's like, "By God, it's John Cena." By God, it's like that. All does coming out.
He got cheered. Then it's like, wait, we supposed to boo him because we don't like him.
Yeah, like
that was
that. People forgetting.
Wait, boo that man. But first, it's like, yay, and it's a loud pop.
I love those kind of. That's why I love fucking Rumble.
But think about what make there's moments like that make you so excited about Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like predict. Like I said, predictability. Like, who gives a shit? To be quite honest, I want to see who's coming back and who could change the landscape of already a landscape that's being painted. That's why people are so excited about the road to WrestleMania starting at the Royal Rumble. You can start all that in the beginning. You can start at SummerSlam. You could do whatever you want to do, but really the landscape does not change until the Royal Rumble ends.
That's when,
and then everything else is after.
That's when all of where the focus is going to be, because you know what the title matches are going to be, or whatever the announcement of those title matches. It really is a kickoff to a really, really exciting time, which I love. So my favorite Royal Rumble moment is honestly my favorite match, of all time, which is the first ever Women's Royal Rumble in 2018. So I was supposed to be there in Philly in 2018, but for whatever reason, I wasn't there. And the only reason why I wanted to be there was because of this match. I had just got back into wrestling when they announced it. I couldn't believe that they were going to give women the same opportunity to have a Rumble match, because I always loved it. And then to me, that meant wow, there's 30 women in WWE that wrestle. That's what that means. That, it was just such a momentous moment for me personally, for the podcast, for everything. It really kicked off what is my favorite year in wrestling, which is 2018, because of the women. And also, the winner was valid. The storytelling was valid. Sasha Banks opened. You had Lita come back, who literally had a moment where she said, "Oh my God, this is happening." You had Trish come back. You had it was just, to me, perfection. I don't think any women's Rumble match has topped that from from the beginning to the end, as far as storytelling, as far as legends, as far as surprises, as far as, who ended up winning. Like, I just think all around it was just such a perfect match. I think it was such a tribute to all the women that have paved the way, because you did have a good range of that. And I literally can watch it to this day. And I don't rewatch a lot of matches, but I can rewatch that match, and I have the same experience I do when I watch it for the very first time.
I gotta ask you. Oh,
nothing tops it.
I gotta ask you this question. Did you feel a certain type of way that Ronda Rousey came out and made her debut at the end of it? Because I remember, like, a lot of my friends who are heavy into women's wrestling. So, I'm just like listening to their, credences more than Twitter. Didn't like that because they felt it took away from the moment of Asuka winning. But I don't know. What did you think?
So I didn't think that in the moment, because I was just thinking of just like what this meant for women in sports in general, because we now know Ronda sucks. But in the moment, like, that was a good get. Like, for Ronda Rousey to feel like there was a women's division for her to come to is huge. Like, that means that she had adversaries. That means that she had peers that she can actually have believable competitions with, as like the most dangerous woman on the planet. So for me, I think the whole like spectacle of it and just like what it meant. I don't know whose mic that is, but to me, it was the whole thing too. And also, I bet my dad a lot of fucking money that she wasn't coming. And so in the moment, I was just like, oh my God. But in hindsight, I do feel like I wish Asuka had got that moment. I do wish that they kind of milked it a little bit more. And also knowing now what ends up happening at WrestleMania kind of sucks too. But I think I didn't have a problem with it in the moment. I do wish, because that could have easily been like a Raw after Royal Rumble. But again, like, you signed Ronda Rousey, you're going to make a statement with her, like, from a business marketing standpoint. But I do wish Asuka
And they had to sell network subscriptions at the time.
I thought that y'all said we were tabling. I thought we were putting her in the box, but I'm going to let y'all have it.
I mean, in this moment,
you can't talk the 2018 Rumble without mentioning her.
It was cute. It was when it came out, I was shocked. I appreciated that Charlotte wasn't a part of it. Like, every part of that match was so well done to me. Like, Charlotte being a heel and like carrying everyone that came out and like stopping herself. Like, I think somebody got a mute.
Oh, shit.
But I loved everything about it. Like, Charlotte trying not to like cheer people when they came out because she's supposed to be a heel, but she was just so overwhelmed with everything. Stephanie McMahon on commentary, and how she was so excited, and you can hear the emotion in her voice, the excitement in her voice talking about it, that it almost, I believe it took away from her commentary duties, because she was just like, and to me that was all about it. Sasha Banks,
that's what you want, that realism.
Right. And Sasha Banks being number one, her and Becky being number two. And mind you, in this moment, you don't realize how significant that is because Becky hasn't popped yet. But now in hindsight, it's like, of course, Sasha and Becky fucking was number one and number two and put on a clinic before anyone else even came in the ring. Like, right, exactly. And even like, of course, I appreciated that Nikki was a part of the final, but like that final shit before Asuka got eliminated, like, was dope to me. Like, you really was like, oh shit, like, who's really about to win? Like, you really don't know, because at that time it's only 2018. Nikki Bella could have came back and won and nobody would have been super shocked. Like, but I think that was dope. Again, the storytelling, the legends, I think all in all it was a fantastic match, and I don't think anything to me has topped it since.
I hope.
So I agree with P on this because I was there, so I know like those reactions of like how they perfectly spaced out all the legends, and especially where we sat at, so we couldn't see like the backdrop. We were next to the stage, but we couldn't see the backdrop, so we weren't spoiled with like how like the Titantron says like the person's name. Like we can only go off the music and then them coming out, and that's how we used to react. So it was like, oh shit, that's Lita's music. Oh, that's Lita. Oh, that's it. And then we were in a suite with like a whole bunch of people, like kids and adults, and we're all just marking out to like all the girls. My my best friend is trying to not go crazy for Nikki Bella. I'm trying not to go crazy for Trish Stratus. Even though I was like, damn, Sasha's won. Fuck, that means she's losing. But for her to go Iron Woman meant a big deal, especially that with the 24 special on the Peacock, they talk about how she had to really carry that because her and Becky were like the backbone of the first half of that Rumble, and then her Asuka were the backbone of the second half of that. And then just spacing out all the different legends, and then Stephanie on commentary, yo, how about this dream match or how about that dream match? Vicky Guerrero just popping out of nowhere and everyone tossing her out. Nia Jax cleaning house. I was like, who's going to top Nia? Boom. Here comes Beth Phoenix's music. And then for the Bellators to come out, and then for Brie to come out was a big deal. And this is weeks before Bryan gets cleared, because that's the same WrestleMania where Bryan comes back. So everyone's going crazy, giving the Bryan pop. And then for me, I felt 50-50 on the whole Ronda thing because I didn't expect it whatsoever. I was not painted dirt sheets at the time, so I didn't know that was even a remote possibility. So Asuka getting her moment, I don't look at it like it's stepped on it because the women main evented. And that's another big ass thing. The women main evented. Their first women's Royal Rumble, and they main event. And of all places, Philly gave them a lot of love.
How are they not?
And mind you, this is not like going into this Rumble where there's only 5 matches. There was like, I believe, 8 matches on this card and stuff like that. You had title defenses. So for the crowd to really give them that energy is a big deal. And then when Ronda came out, that place went nuclear. We're like, wait, that's Ronda's music. There's no fucking way. All of a sudden, Ronda drops out, and we're just like, all like as kids, just like, oh. And for Asuka to slap her hand away, like, man, bitch, get the fuck out. You just ruined my damn moment. Like,
all that maybe that's what saved it for me too, was that Asuka kind of played into it too. So
get your ass out of here. I just want to Rumble. You think I'm scared of you? But I've always said the 2018 Women's Rumble is the best that they've ever done. It's been hard to top because you've already seen those legends. It's the first time. You have someone like Sasha Banks. Like I personally say Sasha go, this is one of those reasons why. It's very hard to carry a damn Rumble match. Sasha almost goes the entire length before she gets eliminated. She gets eliminated in the final 4. It's very hard to have a woman that really puts the backbone of like, we need you to carry this and make sure everything goes in sequence. Like they tried it with Natty, didn't really work. They did it with Bianca like a couple of years ago, where it worked, but a lot of people weren't familiar with Bianca, and that's usually like the thing that struggles with the women's Rumble matches, where it's like, who carries that part to make sure everything flows well, especially where it's hard to get those women to come back because it's like now it's the same women because we don't have that abundance of women's wrestlers to be like, yo, we need to pull up.
Right. Which is why they said a lot of legends were there last year, because they had just laid off like 3/4 of their women's division. So they had to do something. And that is such an unfortunate fact to go into Rumble, because it's like it takes away that magic of the storytelling from the first entrant to the 30th entrant. So I'm hoping that this year can definitely redeem that year. I don't know who's going to win. I don't want to think about who's going to win, but I'm very excited to go to my very first one and build some more memories. This is the first one under Triple H's reign, so I have high expectations.
I would love to see Mickie James come out again. This time with no we just be a surprise. She is the champ. I would love to see that moment. And obviously, those ladies that's in Japan. So
that's fine. If you're asking for Mickie, I hear a certain Mercedes Moné is not doing anything this weekend. She doesn't have a match till next month, a couple weeks away. She hasn't really officially signed with like a well, technically you could say New Japan, I guess, Stardom through that, but I'm just saying, ain't no one gonna expect it, and that's the type of shit that makes moments because you don't fucking expect it.
Exactly.
You thinking maybe it's Sasha Banks, but nah, that Mercedes Moné money music hits and she come out.
Yo.
And it builds a bridge towards a future relationship later.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you need 30 women.
One moment that we didn't talk about.
But y'all just like, that's what bothers me about these discussions. Like, we're kind of turning into what I fear that most people turn into, and that's people who rely too much on the past. You have a wonderful crop of ladies at NXT that are more than deserving of spots in the Royal Rumble. Though it don't matter how new, how old, their age, it doesn't matter. From what I watch on NXT, you have a wonderful crop of ladies who, to me, last year, without women's matches, even in their own pay-per-views, sans one who unfairly was let go for reasons we all know. But you have a wonderful crop of ladies who are also allowed to be a part of this Royal Rumble. And it's like, as much as we want the past to be nostalgic, you also need to start looking into the future. I feel like I would be really impressed and surprised. Not only the person who should have gotten a really good chance, Chelsea Green. I feel like if Chelsea Green shows up, that will make me ecstatic. That will make me want to see what's going to come out of her. You have, Cora Jade is the talk of NXT. You have Roxanne Perez, who is the champion, who is the talk of NXT. You have all these great, there's a plethora of names that the future is looking real bright because Shawn Michaels is putting in that work with what he was given with. So to not give them a spot, I feel like it's taking too many steps backwards. Save the legends. If you want some legends to come back, fine. If you want some modern people that are already on the roster who don't really get that time to shine, to have that shine, you also are forgotten about them. And that's what I think. I think that's what people are forgetting. We're so hung on the people that we love so much already. All right, we can also give chance to love somebody else. And that's what the Royal Rumble, I feel like, also does. So that's my take on it.
That is true. Look at what it did for Bianca. Bianca was still in NXT when she came out early.
And made a statement.
Made a statement.
And Bianca's was never an NXT champion. So.
Right.
Think about that.
I say bring up the NXT girls. I think that was one thing I was missing from last year. Bring them up. Let them show what they got. Homegirl, I forgot her name. She's NXT, one of the tag team champions right now. But Casey Catanzaro, whatever her new name is.
And Katie Carter.
Yeah, she made a statement during Royal Rumble with all her fucking shit that she was doing. And I don't watch her NXT, but I knew her name after that because I was just like, oh my God, she's doing amazing. And the same with Bianca for people who weren't familiar. She came in number 2 and I believe was the Iron Woman, and look everywhere she's gone. So I think this could be the year where they bring back Royal Rumble where it is significant. The win is significant. It tells a story. The match tells a story. It can build stars with all of the other 29 other fucking women that are in the match. So I have really, really high expectations for this match.
And Seindole put it perfect. These are your stars that are coming, that are next up. At some point, the 4 Horsewomen are going to retire. At some point, Asuka's going to retire. At some point, Alexa's going to retire. Natalia's going to retire. And you're going to need that next crop to come up. And what better moment than the Rumble?
Yep. This is the time. And this is what Rumble was always all about, too. So it was when it's like, okay, we want to put the rocket ship on him. We're going to have you win Rumble. We're going to have you do this. We're going to have you do that. So I'm here for that.
Let me ask you this. Do Raquel Gonzalez get the Diesel spot?
No. I hope they don't do that.
Raquel Rodriguez.
That'd be mean.
I can see them doing that. I'd rather that be Rhea.
Well, yeah, it definitely should be. But
I didn't think of that.
I didn't
think of that at all.
Is because I see Rhea winning. So I don't see her like getting that spot
Yeah.
and winning the match. I mean, I could be wrong, obviously, but
I could probably see Raquel going Kane 2001 and trying to go for most eliminations and really like, you're not winning, but we're gonna definitely highlight you this way.
Right,
Even
because they
though
don't
I
got
still
Nia
think
Jax for
Rhea's
that.
goodness. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone for that. You need that someone that's gonna clear the ring.
Yeah. I don't think you needed it. Never mind.
I do think Raquel is going to be in a Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that, but I can definitely see that happening. Like I will fire. I don't see Saraya coming back. I will probably cry. I will cry. I will cry my eyes out. If she does come back, I'll be so fucking shocked. I will faint. But I don't see her coming back.
I don't see Kelly coming back again. Like,
but
Kelly needs to stay home.
But that's not only the beauty of the Royal Rumble, but what they did with Mickie James last year, where you can't rule it out because Mickie was working for an entire whole ass company, a champion for a whole ass another company, and they brought her in. So now that you open that door, you can't rule it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to the hype of like, I don't know what to expect because now that you played that card, okay, will you play it again?
No, I don't need Summer Rae to come back either.
I'm not saying Saraya, but I'm saying
no, not Saraya. I'm looking at the comments and sorry.
On
that note.
On that note, we need a list of people that.
Nah, Summer Rae can go sit somewhere.
Sit out.
I like Summer Rae.
I like Summer Rae, but not in the Royal Rumble. Don't waste the spot.
You know what you do with Summer Rae? You make sure Summer Rae goes to Eva Marie's house and be like, Eva Marie's not allowed to leave this fucking house for Royal Rumble. We don't want her anywhere near this ring.
Wow.
She stays home.
Damn, I ain't say all that, but like,
I don't want to put Eva and Summer Rae in the same box, but I totally get your point. I don't need to see Kelly again. I don't need to see Tori Wilson. I
see Tori Wilson again. No.
You done been in all of them at this point.
I would love to see Beth Phoenix come back so she can, give Rhea Ripley a fucking heart attack.
Beth has never retired.
Maurice,
exactly.
Would love to see
Maurice business from that concerto.
There you go. So Beth could
also what's fun about Rumble.
And also, I need people to stop trying to make AJ Lee come back. She ain't coming back. Leave that girl alone. She's like writing Netflix movies. Leave her alone. Leave her out.
That ain't happening.
That ain't happening.
Pull up her interview with, I believe it was Renee Paquette. She makes it very clear she has no interest in wrestling.
She has no interest.
She's made it very clear.
She likes writing. Plus, she's like she has which I think is amazing. Their ratings went up.
Outlet. I don't think she needs to take bumps at this point in her life. Like,
and you also got to remember with her, it's also mental health, and she speaks on that too, where she's in
right.
a place.
Right.
Don't bring her back to those old doors and all that.
Right.
Nah.
I totally agree, but I am excited to see who comes because everybody that comes doesn't necessarily have to win the title. It's really all about the pop. It's all about that experience. I love watching Royal Rumble with non-wrestling fans. I think it's the most exciting thing for them to watch because we're all going to scream. We're all going to count down. We're all going to be like, shout out to my friend Nia.
This one will be betting on it because this is the only time of the year you can bet on a wrestling event because you don't know who's coming out and what number. It makes it so much fun.
It really does. Even with the surprises, like a lot of people are like the surprise factor. Why are you telling us who come? You really still don't know when they're going to come out, when their music going to hit, and that feeling of when their music hits. It's still exciting to me. I would love to see Kairi Sane come back. That would be fucking amazing.
I would pop for that personally.
Keep the story going in a Royal Rumble match with a certain other person. Like I'm just saying, you could do that for a little bit. But I'm very excited for this weekend. Those wrestling girls
will be there live, right?
In San Antonio, Texas, doing a lot of fun things. So make sure you stay tuned to our social media. We are going to be all over, taking over another city in Texas, just like Dallas.
Outside of ringside.
That's how it started, was Dallas.
That's really how it all started. And we're about to come up for a year. Yeah, so this is a fun season. I want to thank everyone who has been rocking with us since then. I look at our comments and it's been like our day ones, which I am so appreciative of. And I can't wait to recap Rumble and this wonderful weekend next Wednesday for TWG Fan Club because I think it's going to be everything that we're talking about tonight. I think we're going to have a lot more to talk about next week.
Mm-hmm.
Recap. So I am all the way here for that. But it's me, Queen PR, one half of those wrestling girls. TWG fan club is a wrestling fan club. We get together once a week, every Wednesday, with my crew, 7 to 9 on our Twitch. I love you guys so much. And especially because we're talking about
We love you too.
Thank you. And we're talking about my favorite thing in the whole wide world. But where can everyone find you guys?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here Wednesday nights, Twitch from 7 to 9 for those Wrestling Girls fan club with these three amazing, beautiful people. You can catch me on Twitter Spaces Tuesday nights with Mimi and Corey for Turnbuckle Talk around 6:35, talking all things wrestling. You can find me from time to time on True Heel Heat Sports and True Heel Heat Wrestling, both of those channels on YouTube. My Giants are now out of the playoffs, but we will find other stuff to talk about, and you may see me just pop up here and there occasionally. We here, we outside, we active. Let's rumble.
Wednesdays for wrestling. So shout out to y'all. Thank y'all last week for the flowers and everything. For those who don't know, I'm one of the co-hosts of Wednesday Worldwide. I can't do it like Cal, but y'all can catch that on the Ringer Wrestling Network. Also catch me on The Masked Man sometimes on Mondays. But and then every Wednesday at 7:00, I'm right here in the club. And then tonight and every Wednesday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, catch me on the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. So, and yeah, Brian H. Waters. Google me, follow me on all social media platforms.
Hollywood Waters.
You should have heard what Brother Mav text me. I ain't gonna say it on air. I'll tell y'all when we get off.
And per usual is your honorary wrestling girl, Miss Seindole B. Mowalo, in the building with Tia and Tamara. We are here live every Wednesday for a TWG fan club. You can follow me on Relive on, let's start over. We can follow me on Reload.Relive on Instagram. You can follow me at Reload via Film on Twitter. You can also follow my lovely brand, The Well Minority. That's The Well Minority on all platforms. Podcast is dropping very soon. Also, tomorrow night, you can catch me continue this lovely talk of Royal Rumble with two, if not only besides Queen PR and CRISTA B themselves, the most powerful women in wrestling media to date. That I call them my Fab Four. So to complete that circle, I'll be partnering with Mimi of Black Wrestling Podcast and with, of course, Janelle HR of Jobbers Tears Podcast. And we are returning. Yours truly is going to be sitting on a panel for the return of the Big Four. It's going to be live tomorrow on all streaming platforms. 4:45. Be there, be in our shop. It's happy hour time. Make sure you grab a drink, a beer, a big bite of burger, your wings, whatever you got to grab to sit there and talk about. We're going to be breaking it down, talking all opinions and more juicy details going into the Royal Rumble. So stay tuned.
So I'm so excited for that because me and CRISTA B were on the Big Four for the 2019 Royal Rumble, and it was like the first thing that we ever really did. So,
I'm on a Hall of Fame right now. Like,
yeah, and
you and CRISTA kind of paved the way for me. And Janelle was like, "You got to join." So, if anything, I'm joining. I'm getting my plaque right there with y'all.
Black women talking wrestling.
Yes,
excellent.
Shout out to With Heart.
This was Thursday. We would be toasting to that because I love that shit. Shout out to Deadass Girls because we were on with them for the Big Four talking about Royal Rumble. So this is definitely a full circle moment. I'm very excited for you, Seindole. And it's a pleasure to have you on our platform. I can't wait to watch you on that platform. 4:45 p.m. Eastern on the Jobber Tears platforms. Sharp. I will be there. Everybody else better fucking be there too.
I will be in the comments.
Yes.
We're excited about that. So if you haven't,
comment Tia and Tamara if you're really in the building, because that's how I know all of you who was supposed to watch tonight were really watching. Comment Tia and Tamara in the comments. I want to see something. Y'all already know the vibes.
I know the vibes.
sister.
And if you don't know what Tia Tamura means in the context of fan club, you just got to tune in every week, and you may or may not, learn or discover some new things. So
I think only the day ones know who Tia and Tamara are. Shout out to the day ones.
For sure.
That's why y'all got to tune in.
Exactly.
Every fucking Wednesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, unless something special happens. But we are here every Wednesday, 7 to 9 on Twitch. Me, Queen PR, with my crew. If you haven't already, please check out our Charlotte Flair episode. Part 1 of that series is dropped on Monday on all platforms, including YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Okay, we are 25 followers away from 10K, and I really want to achieve that and have 25 more people join our community. So please spread the word and check out Krista B and CRISTINA every Friday for Krista B Sounds Off.
Please.
Yes, and she has a lot to sound off about before she heads to Texas to meet up with me. And I think Brian Hollywood will be in Texas as well. So
Hollywood. You just broke some news.
Hollywood.
Oh,
he kicked himself out the club. I'm dead.
He didn't check in with his publicist.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Real Hollywood stuff. Sorry. Tell your people I'm sorry. Tell your people.
No, my USB, it went out.
Uncle Holly don't switch his camera.
Switch the camera.
Tell Uncle Holly
the A camera, you get the B camera.
But I love doing this every Wednesday. I love having this wrestling fan club and just talking about.
Oh, Dylan just said he just followed on Twitter.
Oh, I love you. Shout out to Dylan.
Shout out to Dylan.
Salute to Dylan. Salute to Dylan. Hope your recovery is going well, my guy.
He's the GIF king. So
yeah, salute to you. And that could be a shirt. Maybe we gotta hit up Blue for 4-year wear and let him know that should be a t-shirt.
Hey, you
are
got
here.
this beautiful t-shirt right here.
100%.
It's all about the merchandising.
All about the merch. But
make sure they give out 5 stars on Apple too, and Spotify for those wrestling.
Yes, that definitely helps. And he said, y'all need gifts, hit me up. I got you. We will definitely hit you up. And we love you to tune in. And we cannot wait for you to tune in next week. And I think the club is a church.
You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the fuck up out of here. Hasta mañana.
Catch you on the flip side. Peace.
You in Texas.
Peace.
You in Texas.